are Gary Sharp and Damon Benning.
The two.
Oscar Hernandez flips the first pitch he sees out to deep center field. Barreling back at the wall. He leaps into the air. He can't make the catch. It's off the top of the fence and gone. Two-run blast. Teoscar Hernandez
of the hits category. Will Smith hits a deep drive to left center field. Back to the wall. Gone. A home run. Will Smith is 14th of the year as he drives it out and gets the Dodgers on the board. It is 6-2.
The first pitch. Crawford swings and lines one to right field. Marshall moving back. Leaps. Can't catch it. Off his glove. It'll ricochet away. Belt comes in to score. And Brandon Crawford comes through in a huge spot to win the game. Not a walk-off homer, but a walk-off win. 4-3 Giants.
The 2-1 pitch. Swing, and this is smashed out to the gap in right center field. Is it high enough? It is. It is gone. Winker homers today, and Jesse Winker homers tonight. He has gone deep in both ends of the doubleheader here in D.C., and he has given the Mariners a 1-0 lead in the 6th inning.
But we'll see. First pitch to Escobar. That's ripped in the air, right field. That's way back, and that's long gone. Home run. Eduardo Escobar banged it off the chop house in deep right center field, well beyond the bleachers out there, as Eduardo Escobar rips his 10th home run this year. And the Mets get on the board early here in Atlanta. It is a 1-0 Mets lead.
Now the 3-1. Swing and a fly ball to the gap in left center. That's going to get down for a hit. It'll score low. Over to go get it, Bradley Jr. Around second on his way to third goes Yandy Diaz. If the throw goes in the second, it's an RBI single by Ji-Man Choi. And the Rays are on the board first. It's 1-0 here in the third.
Swing and a drive down the left field line into the corner. It is a fair ball. And coming in to score is Benintendi. Around to third base is Dozier. This game is tied at 1.
Hader from the stretch. And a 1-0 pitch. A swing and a fly ball into left field and deep. Back it goes. Deep it goes. Twins win. Twins win. The Minnesota Twins, another walk-off win here at Target Field.
Good morning. It's a Thursday morning, the 14th of July. Mornings are always better, Damon, when we have early morning sports viewing like we do at the Open, at the crispy old course at St. Andrews.
Unfortunately, Dirk's worst nightmare is coming true. Guys are going low.
Right now, Cameron Young, if you are just tuning in and you are going to Sharp and Betting in the morning for updates, Cameron Young is playing really, really well. Just birdied 12, banged in a long putt on 13. So Cameron Young has a 3-shot lead. He is already 7 under through 13. Now, now here we go. Rory McIlroy is playing really, really well. He is on a roll, and he is tied for second. There is a logjam of 5 golfers tied for second. He is 3 back through 7. Cameron Smith and Robert McIntyre, Sharpie's picks, are 4 under as well. So the course looks great. And a good rebound for Rory because he hit one of the old rocks that is the original boundary for this course early on. But you're right. They're going low so far. The conditions don't look that bad. I mean, it's not windy. It's not rainy like you would expect. And that's one of those courses and one of those majors where you want weather to play havoc. But if you love yourself some links golf, there are the golfers that are out early are taming this course. Welcome in, everybody, on a Thursday, the 14th of July. We'll keep you updated on everything that is going on over there. But we love early morning sports viewing. Remember during the pandemic when start times didn't matter? Everybody was at home, so they would play NBA games in the bubble like at 8 a.m. It was great.
Well, that was during a time too where it like gave you life because it was like, well, what else we gonna do?
Yeah.
What else we gonna talk about? Well, we got the bubble. Can we get into this place? Is it open? No, we can't go there. So we're just gonna sit at the house. You'd think those numbers would have been through the roof, but in retrospect, it's kind of a bit of a saving grace. Not one of those guys that thinks it's cool to hate on the NBA.
Yeah.
It actually was it's a saving grace.
Hey,
That's something to watch.
People were not hating on the NBA yesterday. If you are into the summer league, or at least you watch it, just remember it is the summer league, but it's entertaining to watch, and it falls at a time on the calendar where there is not a lot going on, and you always pick out the local interest. And the difference between college and the NBA, people can see right away, or you already know this, that spacing is a lot better in the NBA. How people attack you or how they defend you, they don't clog the lane as much. So sometimes if you are clunky in college and you go, Bryce McGowan's, then they go to the NBA where the floor is open a little bit more, and guys can show off for the first time when they're playing at the pro level. And Bryce McGowan's had another big night yesterday, yesterday afternoon for Charlotte. He looks smooth. He hit threes. He also looks bigger.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's freedom, right? I was having this conversation with Jacob Padilla the other day about another player that we share at Westside, and he's a little different for him than he is at Westside. And I said, there's something about when you're empowered and you know that you're not looking over your shoulder, or it's what you're able to do, how it's kind of freeing. Man, McGowan's knows, listen, I'm going to be a scorer. I can get shots up. I don't have to worry about some of the other criticisms and stuff that come with it, the sharing, not sharing, stuff like that. And that seems to be in his wheelhouse. So my man lets it rip.
So him and Jello Ball are balling out, so to speak, for Charlotte. But he looks bigger. I kind of noticed that during the whole lead up to the draft. And I also think a guy like Bryce McGowan's,
it's about 15, 18 pounds, right?
Yeah. And he's still got a little bit ways to go. And remember, he's 19 years old. So his body's going to continue to grow. But I also wonder, when guys are one and done, or guys that, go into the NFL draft, wherever they get drafted, we got the Major League Baseball draft coming up this weekend, is when you become a full-time pro, what that does to your game, where you don't have to worry about going to school. You don't have to, your whole life now is playing the sport that you've always wanted to play in basketball. And once your career was over at Nebraska or Creighton or Omaha or wherever you might be, then you devote full time to your craft and what that can do for you, because that's all you do. You do the nutrition part, you do the conditioning part, you do the most important, the basketball part, and how that changes your game when you are a full-time professional and you don't have to balance going to school, because school is not for everybody when they're playing a sport at a respective place. Sometimes school is not for everybody when you're just going to school in Lincoln. I had to include myself in this conversation. Let's just be real.
Sometimes you just, I'm just playing school.
I'm no Cordell Jones.
Don't mind me. But you see a lot more in hoops because you literally know you only have 1 year.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't speculate, but how you think Shadon Sharp was like getting after it at Kentucky? Maybe he was. Maybe he's setting himself up to go back to school to take online courses, but that would be the good life. What's Monty Bates doing just enough to probably stay eligible before he transfers to like Eastern Michigan. You're like, wait, what?
These kind of conversations always lead to, hey, well, why don't they just go to a school and major in basketball, major in football? We know that they're not going to, and it's their choice, and it's unfortunate because we all know what a degree can do for you later in life when you're done hooping it up or balling on the gridiron. Is you go to school and you major in football. You're not in a business 101 class, or you're not in an eco class or a poli-sci class. You basically go there and you major in basketball.
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. I don't know. Could I do that? I wonder if you could get all aspects of the sport, right? Like salary caps. You could get your math in. Budgets.
So you're onto something.
You know what I mean? Like
you're onto the financial part of preparing. preparing
There's
athletes.
different things
Yeah.
that you could do within, like, you getting ready to have a contract dispute. Let's see what the general manager has to go through with projecting, luxury tax.
Mhm.
Like, it could get complicated in a hurry. I'd rather just take algebra. Give me 1 and 2. I don't want professional sports mathematics as a 400 level class, because it gets complicated.
It does. You could set up a curriculum for, I'm going to college to major in basketball, and cover all the aspects of things you're going to encounter when you actually decide to go and get paid to play basketball as a true pro. I think the financial part is very important to set you up to understand taxes. Oh, by the way, if you're not living in Texas or Florida or places that don't have state income tax, when you're a professional athlete and that first check you get and you go, that much in taxes was taken out.
Mm-hmm.
But once you see a lot of this. I think Bryce McGowens might be that guy who,
you know what happens?
He got pro. He doesn't have to go to school. He's full time, and we've seen the benefit
with a lot of guys. At least I saw this early. Like, there's a couple that come to mind. Fred Lane, who was from Lane College, I played with in Carolina, ended up winning the job. Like, I mean, it was a mass unit in that backfield, and the best ability was availability, and he took advantage of it. And I remember him, like, when they said he was going to make the team and have a chance to be Anthony Johnson was hurt, Biak was hurt. I obviously was not holding up my end of it from staying healthy. And I remember he would say things like, anything is more than I have now. So they didn't really look at it like getting what I can get. Some guys, that's just how they think, right? If you pay them just enough to, and I think some guys go to like their collective bargaining folks, and I think they look at it like that, because it's hard to negotiate in your head security versus ceiling, right? Because that's what happens with those bargaining agreements. Yeah, you're going to be afforded some immediate assurances, but you are locked in too. So that's kind of the downside of it. So I think now, is the more people understand how that really works, you see a lot more people willing to gamble on themselves, right? Like, yeah, I think there's more out there. I won't take the safe thing. I'm capable of doing, like the whole deal or no deal. I think it's changed the dynamic of sports, because now you see, outside of baseball, you see a lot of shorter contracts now. Guys want the option and the guaranteed money. They'll worry about year 3 and year 3. Let's max in year 1 and 2, and then I'll see where I'm at. It's changed the dynamics in negotiating. That's really the key, in my opinion, with player empowerment, is the way that they've structured the deals. The no trade clause. I was looking at the list of guys that KD can't be traded for.
Yeah,
I'm like,
pretty impressive list.
Yeah, how's that happen? That's player empowerment. That's just knowing the market.
Yes, it is.
That's what will the market bear. Now, that's finance. Right? Like,
being around for a while.
Yeah, you could definitely teach. And I think if they did, like, you could get your nutrition classes in, like meal prep. You could do a ton. You could sneak in some biology. Maybe you wouldn't have to graduate towards kinesiology, but shoot, if I major in football, that includes all aspects. You could get a nice holistic curriculum done with just studying your sport.
And maybe when your career
now
is
your,
over,
your scope may be pretty narrow,
Yeah.
about the rest of the world. I don't know what you'd be getting with your poli-sci and world economics and things like that. But hey, be the same as a traditional student. They don't know everything.
But
about
what if I
everything.
wanted to someday be a general manager in professional sports, professional basketball? Couldn't I major in basketball at Nebraska?
Yeah.
Major at basketball at Creighton? I'm thinking a guy like Justin Patton, who didn't really want to go to school, majors in basketball at Creighton.
Yeah.
He plays basketball and he gets all of the intricacies of what he's about to encounter. Speaking of JP, not going to play in the TBT.
Yeah.
He's injured.
Has had that thing.
Yeah, that's an interesting basketball life after leaving Creighton early. All right, 6:23 coming up on the show today. Steve Sipple
One of
will
those
stop
guys
by.
that can't afford to be looking back over their shoulder. It could be a little, I wouldn't say depressing, but a lot of people will tell you what you should have been doing.
Well, when we sit here and we talk about a guy like Bryce McGowens, who's just starting his journey as a pro, and we've seen plenty of guys that we know that have balled out. For example, 2 guys at Creighton, Justin Patton and Kyrie Thomas. And they do great in college, and they get the opportunity to go make money and get paid and maybe at some point set them up for a while. But there is the downside is JP has not been back in the NBA, and Kyrie is kind of just hanging out in Omaha.
Yeah.
I mean, he was mowing lawns and shoveling snow, and this is a guy that had a nice end to the Rockets season a couple of years ago, got some money, and he's not playing pro basketball.
Yeah. I told you
he's one of the best. He's one of the best defenders that Creighton basketball's ever had.
Great guy in the community too. I thought it was pretty cool. I like it because I think he'll appreciate it because he's well received here. But just kind of blending in, right? Just kind of walking. I know you wouldn't think it would end that soon, but I mean it's sports are tough. That's the it is awful competitive out there.
Coming up today on the show, on this Thursday edition, on the 14th of July, Cameron Young, hello. Again, he's the leader at the Open. He's 7 under through 13 and just blasted one off the tee on 14.
We didn't want to see these low scores, did we?
No, we want the conditions to pick up. The referees at John Higgins Weather Guard, he and T-Love, bring you the lineup today. Steve Sipple coming up at 8:30. It's Ask Us Anything, a chance to win a gift card from Oscar's Pizza and Grill, located 173rd and Center and 162nd Maple, which is takeout only. It is Ask Us Anything. Anything goes. Coming up at 9:30. Then Brian Edwards stops by. We are 44 days away from the start of the Nebraska football season around here. No hesitation on who the best 44 is.
Oh, there's a little.
There's a good list. There's some good guys that have won 44, but in my opinion, the number one guy, I don't hesitate. And he's a guy that I'll never shake hands with again. And it's not a negative. Because he always has long fingernails, and his hands are so big that when he shakes your hand, he goes over. Yeah, he goes over your wrist, and I always get cut.
Yeah, Mike Knox. There's
so John Hess.
Yeah, there's some good 44s.
Barrios.
Yeah,
kicked it right. And then Mike McNeil. I think Mike McNeil won 44. 44 is a good football number. We could even, we could give some love to our friend. I mean, all these guys are our friends, but Jay Foreman.
Yeah,
for a brief time wore 44.
56, 44, 44, 56.
Can you imagine thinking about CJ and his incredible career at Central? I don't pay a lot of attention to high school stats. I don't want to see high school.
They used to be a lot easier to find. It's tougher now.
Yeah, and people need to play with max preps. That benefits everybody, especially those of us that do games and try and follow the sport. But sometimes, I used to look at high school stats and stories about recruits and so on and so forth. And now you can see film, so you don't really rely on stats. But there's no denying that when a guy in high school at Omaha Central runs for nearly 4,000 yards in high school, that's something to talk about, and that's a high school stat.
And really did it. It really did it in a couple of years.
That's what I understand. I mean, he was front page, all the publicity.
Yeah, just kind of came up because it was so deep.
Well,
he had to wait his chance. He had to
deep
wait
at Central, but how about deep of running backs in this town?
There was a few good ones.
What do you wear? 29 at Central? Is that right?
Oh yeah, with the neck roll. He was so sweet, man. That's like, I mean, that's DB Crush High School. There was only 2 because I wasn't really getting into running backs, but
I think I know the other one.
Who's that?
Ken Clark?
Yeah, absolutely.
The rest in peace. Great man.
Absolutely. There's only really 2 guys where I was just like, oh my goodness. CJ just looks sweet.
He was so smooth running.
He just reminded me of he just had some Dickerson to him, and he seemed bigger then. He's not. People thought he was a big guy. He's not a big guy. He's 6 foot.
Well, he's had the big shoulder pads.
Yeah. He was light on his feet, boy. My man was shifty. He was kind of upright, and he was fast. We played him my sophomore year in the playoffs. I think they ended up beating us like 33-6 or something like that. But we were within a score at the half, and we were feeling pretty good. And my man went ham in the second half. And there's a picture in the paper. My little scrawny behind is wearing like number 10, maybe. Something crazy like that, because I was just trying to get on the field, and I was playing corner, and wide receiver for varsity to kind of get on the field, and I'm like diving at his ankles.
Yeah.
And my man is like Louisiana Bayou. I mean, my ankles are like this big around. I wish I could find that photo, but he was unreal.
Yeah, the two quick moments at Nebraska that come to my head were the game at KU, where he ran for 271 and 6 scores, and then the game at Colorado where he took off his helmet before he crossed the goal line.
And I think I can only really
52-7
remember a
game.
couple of times playing where I felt like, whoa, I'm here. I remember that was one because I was in high school and I was really just starting to contribute, right? And it was early, so I was still there was a little bit of that wow factor. And then when we played Pittsburgh in the preseason when I was in Carolina, and I found myself wanting to go over there and kind of hang out, right?
Yeah.
I forgot that, like, hey, man, like, stop acting like that. It's about competition, but there was the wow factor of playing against the Steelers. But that's about all really I can remember. The champion, the moment never. I don't remember too many like being awestruck, but those are two that I remember distinctly.
Now, let me ask you this, because you're one of the guys. There's another part of the Calvin Jones legacy at Nebraska, and CJ is, a good dude. I've gotten to know him through you. He's always a great, conversation. Always has a big smile on his face. Could his setup work today? The Weebacks, him and Derek Brown.
Yeah,
there's the great story out there.
It'd actually be ideal if you're like-minded.
But could it be set up? Because here's the story that I heard, and I've actually heard T.O. kind of tell this story, is they set up, both Calvin and Derek set up a meeting with Solich and T.O. To talk about this situation. And they wanted to just pick a starter. And that starter played, and then the other one found his role. Instead of one guy got one quarter, and then the next guy got the next quarter, and then the next guy got the next quarter. They just wanted a starter. And the way the story is told is, I guess T.O., you've been in those one-on-one meetings, listens to him and acknowledges that they put a lot of thought into it, and then says, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the story they tell, but it wasn't always rainbows and butterflies either.
Oh, no. Look at people were picking sides. Oh. And I don't know what their relationship was like, but two guys that are competitors, I can't imagine that was easy.
No.
I mean, you had a all Big 8, basically an All-American that was a backup. I mean, you had two great running backs in the 90s that one was sitting. But such a weird setup, though. One guy gets a quarter, next guy gets a quarter.
Yeah, managing the personalities. Because you would have thought if you watched that debacle in the bowl game against Georgia Tech, and just kind of D. Brown and Jay Mitch's coming out party, you'd have thought, why would you go to Nebraska?
Mm-hmm.
They got a phenom in the making. Calvin was like, yeah, whatever. Tennessee, Miami, I'm good. I'll be at Nebraska.
So 44 days from the start of the Nebraska football season, taking on Northwestern. So celebrate accordingly. John Hess still around Lincoln?
I think he's in Arizona.
The pride of Lincoln Southeast, the multi-sport star at Southeast.
Pretty sure he's in Arizona. I think he talks to, who he talks to all the time is Rizak, DJ.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure they would know.
44, good football number. Good show ahead.
Hey, again, like my guy, man, Knox was pretty sweet. You get slept too. And he, just got to know him post his career because he was doing the pool thing, and Brandon was playing baseball, and really, really good dude. At least to me, right? I just gotta go by what I know. I'm a big Knox guy.
Steve Sipple coming up a little bit later. Brian Edwards as well. We had some chatter yesterday by a former Husker who said all the right things. Well said at the Big 12 Media Days, which today Oklahoma and Texas meet the media. Why didn't they put him with Mike Gundy? I'm gonna love me some Gundy, man. He is now full throttle Mr. Opinion.
Well, he's the guy.
He knows
you're not gonna get it from Miranda,
and he knows it.
Yeah, Gundy's the dude.
Hey, how about Dave Aranda yesterday admitting that at the end of the Big 12 championship game, they took a timeout that was granted that they didn't have. Oh, hello.
I like Aranda though. He's one of my favorites.
He's trending in the right direction. If they can get something out of Blake Steffen, their quarterback, because their offense and defensive line pretty salty.
Yep. They should be able to get stops.
All right, 6:34. There's Damon. I'm Gary Chance is in with us today with all of you. We're back with more Sharp and Betting in the morning after this. In our discussion in the first segment about a little summer league basketball, and Bryce McGowan's again had a big night. A lot of local guys have had good runs in Vegas. You know, somebody that has really played well, Keegan Murray.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ask Chet.
I mean, Sacramento may have, people wanted Jaden Ivey to go to Sacramento. They may have found the right fit with Keegan Murray.
We kind of, well, at least I thought Keegan Murray is the best ready scorer in the league. I think. I don't think upside, but pencil him in immediately for 16 a night. Like that, I don't know, he's not going to probably be the 26 or 25 a night guy, but this year he'll get 16 a night minimum. He
has scored in the summer league. He looks comfortable.
Well, his body, he's pretty mature too.
That still is an incredible story of where he was just a few years ago to become a lottery pick. At the 150th Open, some of us call it the British Open, Cameron Young still has a 3-shot lead. He is 7 under through 14. That's going to be a nice little number. People were wondering, as we were talking to Dirk yesterday, could somebody go 59-60 at a major?
Yeah, I don't want to see that unless it's Tiger at Pebble.
I in one of the props I had in the group contest, I had the winning score as 14 under. I might be way off. Come on, let's do something with the greens. Let's do something with the conditions. Come on, Mother Nature. Don't let me down as we get to the weekend. Tiger tees off a little bit later, but Rory is 4 under through 8. People out there would lose their mind if Rory was making a run, or even the Scot Robert McIntyre, who has fallen off the first page. Ernie Els 4 under through 11.
Still got that smooth stroke.
DeChambeau has played well. He's actually playing with John Daly.
It's a great shot he just had out of the bunker too, by the way.
As Victor Hovland, the former Oklahoma State Cowboy, is 1 under.
Remember when he was going to be a phenom?
Yeah, it comes and goes with these
women. Anything goes.
That happens, but also with hot young golfers. I mean, there's some great depth on the PGA Tour, but one guy gets hot and he's the next, and then he doesn't come through with a major, and then there's the next guy that steps up. I mean, Morikawa is one of the best young players playing, but people are like, you know what? I don't think he's going to do well in the Open. Let's move on to the next thing. It's like the new shiny toy. I thought about that when we were talking about Mike Gundy. So Gundy yesterday at the Big 12 Media Days, Oklahoma State, Gundy is in a spot where he can talk on things. He's also kind of ride the roller coaster as an Oklahoma State fan with Gundy. You've had great success. I mean, you're winning 10 football games. You're playing for last year the Big 12 championship. Your program is in a really, really good spot. But you've also ridden the roller coaster of I'm a man, I'm 40. Gundy putting his name in for every job out there. During the lead up to the COVID season, the comments that he made got real political. And now he has kind of started to come out the back end of, hey, this conference may belong to Oklahoma State with Oklahoma gone.
I'm a firm believer in the snowflake.
So yesterday they put a mic in front of him, and good for him. He's talking on a lot of different things. He says, why is Oklahoma and Texas in our business meetings? Which I think is a valid thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they should, let's move them out. Let's let them go to the SEC. And I'm glad to hear their commissioner say, hey, I would not be opposed to see what kind of a deal we could strike for them to leave early. But Gundy's right. But coaches and players, because now I'm going to bring Adrian Martinez into this discussion. We do like the new shiny toy, but the shelf life of the new shiny toy, especially when it comes to quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are head coaches. What is the shelf life of, hey, it's a new shiny toy. We're excited. 1 year, 2 years. Boy, by the time they get to the 3rd year, they get to the 4th year, we're on to something else. Or in Gundy's case, somebody who has been at a school for a long time, you just go, I'm over him. What's next? Let me get the next shiny toy. Well, I'd take Mike Gundy.
Yeah, I feel like we constantly have to defend him. He comes up almost every year for some reason. When you win more than 9 games a year, I'd probably leave that guy alone.
Man, he's definitely got a personality. He's pompous.
And that's okay, right?
He's a heck of a coach.
Yeah.
He can coach football, and that's what he's paid to do at Oklahoma State.
It's like at some point, I think we got to be able to get past what a guy's takes are, or a gal, right? Like, what are they doing? Like, what's like if you're critiquing or you're looking at the practical application of their job, doesn't matter if we agree with what they say or not.
Mm-hmm.
Are they good at what they do? I think that's ultimately how you're going to be judged, right? We get too worried about parsing through what somebody believes or not. It's like, okay, that's you can't allow that to move your needle.
I like what he said yesterday. So he commented on a couple of things.
He was okay.
One, the Oklahoma Texas thing about hanging out in business meetings. I mean, that's kind of like a no-brainer. He said that Bedlam is history. Which that's a conference game. People are wondering, like, if the Big Ten expands with in terms of conference games, what happens to the Cyhawk game? Well, that's a non-conference game. That's a little bit different. The conference game, you're not going to play that game. That's meant to be played in the conference. OU is going away. Oklahoma State, they're not going to let Oklahoma still enjoy that. And then he says what I like, and a lot of coaches will say over the next couple of weeks of media days of college football realignment, it's about money. So thank you, Mike Gundy. I mean, Mike Gundy's got enough job security now that if he's asked about things that are surrounding the health of the game of football, he's going to comment on it.
Yeah.
What dumbass.
I mean,
it's too bad. Too bad Bedlam is going to go by the way.
Says a lot of things that we already know, right? So it's like, I don't know if I backpat a guy for that, but he's when you look at his place in that conference, he's afforded that luxury. I mean, and again, he's got a lot of accomplishments. A lot.
What is it? 7 of the last 10 or 11 years they've won 10 plus games in Stillwater. They'll have the top quarterback this year, at least returning quarterback in Spencer Sanders. They're a top at least 3 team. I think Baylor, Oklahoma State, the top 3 in the preseason rankings. And then isn't it Texas? And then the hot pick, Kansas State, which will be a very trendy pick to win the Big 12 this year, or at least make it back to Arlington for the Big 12 championship game. But there is of the shelf life of coaches and that whole shiny new toy thing of, hey, we like them, and then they've been around here for a while.
7 of his 17 years, he's lost 7 games or less.
Won 7 more games or less.
He's only won 7 games or less, 7 out of his 17 years. 7.
His once it looked like he was fully committed to Oklahoma State and his name didn't start showing up in every job search. Last few years,
he's had one losing season, and it was in year 1. It's pretty okay.
Yeah, I think people at Oklahoma State that have some disdain for him.
Will you take a 685 win percentage?
Yeah,
I will.
I would take Mike Gundy. He threw his name in for the Nebraska job. I think not once, but twice.
Well, he's thrown his name in for everybody's job. I don't know if I lend any credence to that, but
he was supposed to go to Tennessee.
Hey, how about Mike Gundy? We're like, oh god, at it again this year, huh? Well, remember when we talked to Barry Tramlin, where he was like, yeah, inevitably Gundy's name will come up for a job. It's just what he does.
And then he kind of maybe Oklahoma State gave him an ultimatum. Hey, stop doing this. Are you committed to us or not? Because we're investing in you and your program. We want you to stay here, but I got to hear that you're staying here, and I'm not hearing your agent drop your name all over college football. And since that has happened, it's kind of his program has taken the next step to that next level in that conference where they're a legitimate Big 12 championship team every single year.
Yeah. He's got a chance. Look at what the
Oh, John Daly. That is magnificent.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, the beard, it's Santa Claus walking on the green.
It's unfortunate to see him walk like it hurts, but I think it does. Look at that. That's tough for him to even, get his ball.
You know what? Not bad. He finishes 1 over.
Yeah. Bogeyed 3 out of his last 4 holes, too.
Yeah, that'd be tough to walk 4 days. Now, it's an easier course to walk than some of the other majors, but still in his condition, yeah, that would be a That'd be a tough one.
Looks like the wind is picking up a little bit too.
It affected that putt. Cameron Young misses.
Well, and his hood's blowing a little bit too, so it's picking up.
I want you to comment on when you see Justin Thomas, what he is wearing today.
That's my pick, so I'm happy with that.
He has got the
he could be out
the
there
GQ
naked
guy
for all
going.
I care. Just swing it.
That'd be awkward.
Well,
I don't think I want to see a guy swing a club naked.
That was kind of hyperbole.
Oh, okay.
It's not. I think that would be frowned upon. I don't even think he could get on the course.
Bryson DeChambeau bangs
Hey,
home
was that
putt.
out of the bunker?
He got out of the bunker. He got a good chip onto the green and just nailed a long putt to finish the day 3 under. Good round for Bryson.
His frame, he looks good. Like his frame looks. He doesn't look as puffy. Maybe he's off the creatinine.
That's a good conversation. I'm sure it's been going on between DeChambeau and John Daly today. All right, coming up a little bit later, Steve Sipple will stop by. After the top of the hour, Mickey. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey was on the radio last night. Did he forget something?
I knew you were going to get into that.
I was just curious. I waited. We're going to talk about it after the top of the hour.
Hey, do you never say that to me, and I almost never bring that guy up. I went a year without talking about him.
Well,
and everybody was like, "What? What's going on?" I'll prove it. Hang in there.
Just curious.
What's the line?
He ran.
I can't miss anything I've never had.
He ran through every wide receiver that's played in Nebraska in the last 35 years.
Can't miss anything I've never had.
We're back with more Sharp Betting in the Morning after this.
$42 degrees. You want options? They've got you covered. A lot of folks try to replicate, even duplicate. Hey, what's going on over there? What do they do that's different? Well, there's a lot, right? It's not just all the locations and the fact that they're always clean and super friendly. In my opinion, what makes 42 degrees the source is the fact that they are super knowledgeable. The training that staff has on the products and their wherewithal and just being in the know is pretty incredible. It's easy for me to consider them the source. A lot of those 42 degrees products come with different strength levels. They'll help you find your comfort level. You can go vegan, you can go gluten-free. They've got a ton of options. They got a variety of different sizes of, containers, whatever you need. Or, for me, whether it's the immune boost or whatever it is that I'm taking, just toss that in the old gym bag and you're good to go. Again, a lot of great locations right by your mom's house. It's 42 degrees.
Yeah, put some respect on the Baltimore Orioles. They've won 10 in a row. They're 45-44.
Let's go, O's. I'm sorry it's at the Cubs' expense.
That's okay. You know what? Hey,
it's okay.
It's over. We're counting down to Wilson Contreras leaving. I at least got a quality start out of Justin Steele. Did I get anything for that last night? No.
Yeah. You knew I was getting ready to lose it until the Dodgers mounted a comeback.
Yeah. How about your best friend today is the Cardinal bullpen?
Which, I mean, is Marmol. They have so many matchups they can do. Like, they've been pretty good, man.
That is a bad loss for the Cardinals.
Yeah, well.
We're up 6-0, lost 7-6.
Give up 7 in the last 3 innings. That'll happen.
At least, though, you'll have a majority of your guys to play the next game. Unlike the Omaha Storm Chaser Royals, who are playing in Canada.
Man, this is grown
4
legs.
games coming up. If you missed it yesterday, and I'm pretty sure as a Royal fan, you did not. Now 35-53, 3 winning seasons the last 16 years. The Royals have 10 players that are unvaccinated, so they will not be playing in Toronto beginning today for a 4-game set before the All-Star break. Most teams that have gone and played Toronto, and remember, Toronto has the same restrictions when they come into the United States, but everybody on the Blue Jay roster is vaccinated so they can play in the States, is 4. 25 total players haven't been able to go north since the season began, but the Royals have 10. And 6 to 7 of them are everyday players. So we'll see what happens. What is the look at the odds? Share the odds with us when we come back on what tonight's game is. With it, because the Royals lineup is basically the Storm Chasers playing a game that matters in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I've even looked. What would you guess it to be?
A large number, -450.
It's not even out yet.
Probably waiting to see who the lineup is. Yeah. Next hour, Sharp and Betting in the Morning is coming up next.
Sharp and Benning in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app. Here are Gary Sharp and Damon Benning.
Gallegos first pitch to Alberto. Swung on line drive, base hit left field. Bellinger scores. It's 7-6 Dodgers. Alberto puts the Dodgers in front, and he hit a slider to left.
Sharp and Betting on a Thursday morning. Get your questions in to C. Oliver at nrgmedia.com by 9:30 for a chance to win a gift card to Oscar's Pizza and Grill. In our Ask Us Anything segment, anything goes. Let's spice it up, folks. We don't want to talk about sports. We want to talk about other things that are very...
No, we really don't.
We want to talk about off-the-wall stuff.
No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to make an executive decision here. I'm saying, hey, what do you think that the new coaches, how they will adapt? No, we do that enough. This is our step out, and we talk about, like if you ran into somebody,
Queen Latifah.
Yeah, if you ran into somebody at the Dubliner, what would you do? Those kind of things.
Issues, my man. You got issues.
No, I was looking at a Reddit post on somebody that got picked up at the Dubliner.
Really? How'd that work out?
I can't read what they said. They said good luck to the person that picked up this person.
Oh, was she legendary?
Yes.
Really?
Apparently she is dubbed as the Queen Mayor of the Dubliner. I do not know. I've never been there.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Just hearing stories now. Maybe I'll have to go. Big Ernie's rolling, by the way, at the Open. He's playing well. Ernie Els. Let's see. What, he win 2012?
No, he didn't. Was that Brown? He's an amateur. My man trickled that one in from about 35 of them.
Did you say he's an amateur?
He is.
Hey, Barclay Brown. I mean, he played college golf at Stanford. He won the Wyoming Cowboy Classic. Did you know that?
Hey, was that your way? Was that my voice? It was awesome.
He's an amateur. What's going on? Why is an amateur leading the Open? Oh my gosh, it's Happy Gilmore all over again.
God. Hey. So, seeing Ernie Els use that yellow golf ball?
I think he's playing putt-putt.
I remember me and Coach Huffman, we would always go down in the creek, and that's right by our house when we were kids, and we'd always look for golf balls. Man, we would make beelines for the yellow and pink ones. Then there was a stretch, like if you used them on the course, nobody thought you could play worth a darn.
Yeah.
Right. They were like, you're playing with a toy ball. I'm like, well, what happened to the resale value, man? Everybody used to want these.
I know. I am like definitely afraid when I play now to accidentally pull it out, because people like look at you. Like, it's already bad enough when I'm using the Costco golf balls. People are like, who's this Kirkland? I'm like, that's mine. I've explained it before. If I know I'm going to lose a lot of balls, I'm not going to lose Titleist and nice balls. But yeah, he's got the yellow ball that he took off the putt-putt course. There's some putt-putt course over in England that is missing a golf ball. All right, welcome in. There's Damon, Gary Chance here as well. Steve Sipple's coming up at 8:30. Let's just get this out of the way. So Mickey O'Sofine was on the radio last night. Can you recall? And there's a couple of things here, and you're gonna get a sense of where I'm going. Mickey Joseph showed up in December. He comes with being a former Husker, and he wasn't the most liked Husker when he was here, but people didn't hate him. They just, he had small hands. He got hurt against Oklahoma and didn't work out. But he came with a resume of what he had done at LSU as a developer of wide receivers and as a recruiter. And he hit the ground running and did something that had been missing, and that is getting into Omaha and bringing some juice to Omaha in the recruitment by somebody wearing a Nebraska polo. Just a little oomph to it. And then you saw the additions that he started to add to the roster that he was directly involved in, whether he be the number one guy or the secondary guy. And then as he talked more, he came on our show. People got to know him a little bit more. I'm having a hard time. I've been deep in Nebraska football for 30 years. And the staff in the 90s had guys that were extremely popular. But since that run of 90 staff members, can you recall an assistant coach at Nebraska not even a coordinator, that has as popular as Mickey, as popular and as visible as Mickey is. Personally, I can't off the top of my head.
Maybe one. Marvin Sanders.
Good call. Good call.
Marvin Sanders, legend.
And he kind of had the same juice.
Yep. Had that aura.
Yep.
Is that how the kids say it? Aura?
Aura.
Hey, Chance, should I check into the StreamYard? I just realized I don't. Did I do that?
Probably not. So people would like to see your chest today.
Well, I do stand a lot.
And some guy yesterday got upset because all he sees is your chest.
Oh, he was mad? What does he want to see my face for?
I don't know if he was mad.
People love looking at chests.
I don't know about mine.
Well, you know.
Should I? I don't
make my pecs go up and down.
Is this
make them dance?
Is this the? What's wrong with
you? Can't do that with your pecs.
What's wrong with you? I'm watching you. What the world is going on over there?
I can't. I guess,
is this the camera that I have to use, or is?
You can use. You can use your laptop cam, but if you plug that one in, it'll be more closer to your face.
Is more closer a thing?
Close enough to your face.
With a chance, it is.
I just asked the question.
Shout out UNO.
I just asked the question.
That might be Fort Calhoun's
education
issue.
Sam 24 Ticks says legend. I don't know if he's talking about Mickey or Marvin Sanders. So Mickey has. I mean, we're at a point where how many people stop you and say, "Hey, you think Mickey's the next head coach at Nebraska?"
None, but I used to hear that.
Oh, I still hear it.
Yeah,
probably. Is he setting himself up to be the next head coach at Nebraska?
There's a little patchy stretch probably about 2 months ago where we couldn't get guys on the same page doing the right thing. So that was kind of a thing for a second, but I think we're back okay now.
So when I hear him on the radio, and he was on the radio last night.
On the radio.
And you know, just talking to him since he's been back here. I can see why he's a really good recruiter.
You know, he just got back into town.
That's okay. It's go time, man. 44 days. What are you doing? No vacations. Let's go.
And he really wanted to, though.
Like stay?
Yeah, because
no, I think it's important. Those guys, those guys.
He literally was just in Arizona.
Well, those guys spend so much time. They need to get away, or you'll burn yourself out. You'll be Tony Vitello, who doesn't ever leave.
Want to get away for a while?
Yeah, I got to tell you a quick story about Vitello before we get back to Mickey. I don't think I told you this. So I asked Van Horn during the College World Series about Tony because he was on his staff, and he said, "I've got to be like a father to him every time I talk to him because I told him to go get a dog, a girlfriend, or a wife because his whole life is baseball, and he's going to burn himself out.
Yeah.
He doesn't ever leave it." Like he is so intense. So I'm okay. I hope guys have been off for like 2 or 3 weeks. They never get away from the actual day to day, but away from the facility. I have no problem. The hours that they are away from their family, I mean, that's the business they chose, but you're away from your family. They need to go on vacation.
You ever told a guy, you're like, man, you need a hobby. I need a hobby.
Oh, no,
I've been saying that, so I can imagine how those guys are.
Yeah, that's your profession, and you know nothing else. At some point, you do have to step away and take a deep breath. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to find a hobby or something different. Go on vacation. So that's great that they're on vacation, but now it's go time. So when you hear him talk,
it's almost go time.
It just seems like every word that comes out of his mouth, and we might be a little biased. We like him a lot, but you know what? He's easy to like. Is you trust what he says. Like I can see why he connects with recruits early because he doesn't BS you.
Mm-hmm.
And when he talks, you do trust what he says is real. It's not just, hey, I'm on the radio. I'm saying this, this, and this. What I'm saying on the radio is the same thing I'm saying to my players. I'm saying to my head coach. I'm saying to my fellow assistants. I'm saying to my wife. I'm saying to anybody that'll ask. Why would I be different if I'm sitting in 1620 studio with Sharp and Benning or in my office down in Lincoln? So I appreciate that about him. And I think that is a huge bonus to the kind of person he is. And and maybe he doesn't know any other way. So when he speaks, you trust what he says. And some people might roll their eyes, when you've had Mark Whipple, Mike Dawson, and now Mickey have been on the radio, and good for the Husker Sports Network in doing this leading up to camp opening. They all go through their respective position groups. Some guys, and I think we've been lucky with the last 3 nights, those guys are pretty honest about who they have. They're not going to blow guys up and say, hey, this guy is on the cusp. They're going to tell you the truth. So Mickey last night goes through his wide receivers. We'll talk about Trey Palmer. Loves Trey Palmer. But was it intentional for the person that was not mentioned to hear about or something else? There was no Omar Manning mention.
Yeah.
It's always something. It's always something.
I'm going to leave this right here. I think the way that he responded to the question and the way that his statements were framed, I think he told you exactly what he was thinking. He didn't forget. I don't think anything was necessarily, I really don't think anything was necessarily intentional. I don't. Like, I'd tell you, like, ooh, juicy juice. Nah, that's actually not my style. But, like, I would tell you if I think he told you exactly what he was thinking, exactly what it was on his mind based on how his receivers are doing in the offseason. And I think that's how he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how he is. It's not like out of sight, out of mind, but he's not going to make up anything either that he doesn't have to talk about. Does that make sense?
No, I sense that getting to know him since December.
So I don't know if it's intentional, like, ooh, I'm not going to mention this guy and see how he takes it. I think if there's something to talk about, he would have said it. That's what I think.
That's quite the glaring omission
Mm.
for a guy that, in some cases, projected to be in your top 3.
Yeah.
That you, when your position coach is running off guy, I mean, not running off, but he is rattling off his thoughts on guys. And
people thought I was being insensitive last year when I was talking about certain aspects of mental health, right? Versus just life and college being college. So I mean, I'm not going to rehash that, but that's still my stance, right? If not everything is always for everybody, and people that can handle and endure are usually the people that can thrive, and those that maybe need help or not can seek that. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it's some sort of caveat to the story, because they're not afforded that luxury. The staff isn't afforded that luxury. And I'm a big I'll take the sum of the parts versus just a part. I'm always going to be like that. I'm always going to be like that. I was like that with my teammates. I'm like that as a coach. I'm like that in life. Like, it's seldom, ever, ever, ever just about you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it was intentional. Like, oh man, I hope Omar hears this. It's going to get back to him. I just think he said what was on his mind, because that's just typically how he talks. Right? There's sometimes, like, he'll say some things and I'm like, man, you say that out loud? And he'll tell you, just him being authentic, he'll tell you, that's all I got. Right? Do with it what you will.
Yeah.
And he's not always going to tell you he's right either, which is what I like. He's just going to base those opinions on his experiences, and then you can do with the information what you will. And I kind of like that, because it's not just because that's what I gravitate towards, but I can respect that, because he's, I can only tell you what I know. And I told you, he coined the phrase, I can't miss what I've never had. I want to put that on a t-shirt. I would say I used to say things like, you can't give what you've never received, right?
Yeah. You said that a lot.
And I like his too on a variety of levels. So he doesn't know Omar or anybody like that was already here when he got here. So he's not necessarily emotionally invested. It's just a coach's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have varying opinions from a coach's standpoint on Xavier Betts than I do my personal opinion. It's sometimes those worlds don't meet.
Just because of who Homer Manning is, and he might be slotted this year, not to have in questions that were asked directly,
Well,
not even to say he's not making it through the summer.
I don't want to
expect him.
I don't want to like make this a thing, because you asked me when you asked me who I thought was going to start, right? And I told you, I said I could see Washington, Castaneda, and Trey Palmer. And what did you say? No such and such, no such and such. That's an indictment. Yeah, I don't know if it's an indictment. I just think if guys, I'm probably the last guy to ask, because there were times when I was playing where what I was doing just wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody owed me anything. It just wasn't good enough. Right? Like, I'm not afraid to say those things out loud. It wasn't good enough. So therefore I wasn't afforded some of the same opportunities as other people. That's how life goes.
I'm glad I wasn't the only person that was like, but it's always something.
I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, that's a good room.
And
there's some young talent
here's
in
the
there.
thing, because I don't know that it was that he's doing anything in particular. It could just be, and I mean this with 100% of my heart, it could just be that other guys are performing better. Sometimes it's no more fancy than that. Right? It's like, it is what it is.
There's another thing he said last night that has stuck. Now I look at our board. When did you write the wide? There's 6 wide receivers up there.
Oh no.
The number 2 guy is gone. That was February.
It was before that, maybe January. We first got back together.
Yeah. So it's Manning, Betts, Belt, Brown, Grimes, Palmer.
Yeah.
I think that's who you thought that were going to be the top 6
going in the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Xavier Betts is out.
Going in the spring, that's actually a pretty good list.
So on that list,
because remember, Castaneda wasn't playing.
Yeah, Brown sounds like he's still learning.
Okay,
I mean, we're clock's ticking
for sure.
Grimes, thanks. Palmer, top of the list.
Yeah,
but there's one guy, and I'll give you total props here. Is the discussion about Brody Belt, because Mickey said something last night that I think people are now turning the corner and going, oh, okay, instead of, what are you talking about? When remember how that elicited a response early in the spring about Brody Belt is going to play.
People thought I was crazy.
So Mickey used the phrase last night that I like. He called him, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, the best on the team because he can do so much.
Listen.
And I thought, you know what? Good. Because that is a great sign that what you felt in December, January, when you first started looking at who you were going to be coaching,
I was
to where we are on July 14th.
Listen, full disclosure,
impressive.
And you know I'm capable of this. I try not to be. I went full petty during the Brody Belt discussion. Full on petty, passive aggressive, sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm talking to certain people indirectly because there two things about me. If it's my opinion, I'm going to tell you it's my opinion. But if I put it out there publicly and I don't say it's my opinion, I'm not pulling that out of my rear end. I've either seen it or it's been told to me, or both. And when I start putting 2 and 8 and 7 together and get 17 or whatever it is, all signs pointed to they like this guy.
Yeah.
Then you go watch a few practices. Like, I'm not crazy. Right? And when a coach tells you, and it's not even his position coach, his coach said he should have been on scholarship a long time ago. I don't know what the hell was going on. End quote.
Still not on scholarship, by the way.
That wasn't even his position coach. So then I had to get into this stupid discussion on, hey, sometimes if a guy's playing, it's not an indictment on the other guys. Maybe that guy's just good. oh man, that means that Nebraska staff is missed. Yeah, it may mean that there are some guys in that room that shouldn't be there. Maybe they made a mistake. I'm not hung up on that though. Like, why would you revel in that fact? Well, that means they missed on such and such, such and such, and such and such. Yeah, they did. That happens.
It's also on the player,
right? But you think like that? But you can't get out. You're just not going to lambaste a guy for saying he doesn't hold up his end of the deal.
No,
and some other guys
we can say that. Coach can't say that,
and some other guys do. Right? Oh man, the package is for Brody Belt, and I'm watching it. Oh man, you just manipulated that coverage because that's where you put that. Like come on, man. And he said it again last night.
Said best on the team because he can do so
and
much.
Remember when that elicited all the discussion because people are so shallow. Like they think the best meant like the top overall talent. And that's not how coaches talk. That's not how coaches talk. Right? Like it's just not.
I get it as they look at him as a chess piece that can be used in a variety of ways.
And that's what coaches want. Dude, he's good, man. Like, I don't even know why you have to apologize for saying that. As a fan, you should be cheering for the people that give you the best chance to win. Walk on, scholarship, 6'2", 5'2", 260, 360, white, black, Hispanic. Doesn't matter. It's just fodder for lowbrow folks that can't think. Like the goal is to win games. It's to win games. And you want matchups.
Chess pieces.
Not one coach in that room. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. Maybe they don't have to, but not one coach in that room thinks that guy shouldn't be on scholarship. And if he was, would we be cool then? Like, would everybody be cool?
I know. I'm going to tell you I'm biased because we both saw him in high school at Millard West, and he was filthy at Millard West.
Yeah, he killed it. Like, he's
but
good.
Now it's in a spot where that room is completely different. I think the guys in the room respect the guy that's running the room, and I think the people that work with the guy that's running that room respect him as well, and so that goes a long way. And you also have somebody that can think outside of the box and see what can I do to maximize your talent to make us successful. And you relay that to the offensive coordinator and say, hey, I got this guy in my room that can do X, Y, and Z. Can we design some stuff for him? And that's a plan. I think they've tried. Last year, remember Michigan State game? Goal line package, who showed up? Brody Belt.
Yeah, I know.
Hadn't seen that all year. What's going on? Now, you got a plan for him. You understand what he can do for you. And use him as the chess piece.
He can do a lot. I just watched.
You might have the advantage on offense, Damon, of having two utility guys, so to speak. That's the word I'm using, in Belt and then Ramir Johnson. What do we talk about? Basketball positionless players?
Yeah. And again, the goal is to win. And I don't understand how, in one vein, and maybe this is a straw man argument. Maybe this is quelled down a little bit. But I don't understand how you can trust a guy with all these other evals and lament over his prowess and he's this and he's that. But when it comes to this one guy, I don't trust what he's saying. You think he has some secret crush where he's gonna play a guy that he doesn't think gives him a chance to win? You trust him in 9.9% of the other stuff he says, but when he tells you about this guy, he's jerking your chain. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're not listening close enough because he said it's not the first time he said that.
Dude, I know.
He said that like 4 months ago and hasn't backed away from it. All right, 7:30. Steve Sipple's coming up in
he
an
told
hour.
you everything you need to know going into fall camp pretty much last night.
I might have a follow-up to what you just said then.
I'm all ears.
It's always something. Always something.
Sometimes
Always something with 5.
Sometimes it's hard to discern between availability and ability. And there's some other times where some people think, and I'm not saying this about Omar, I'm saying in general for athletes out there, because they think they have more ability than they're being rewarded for their availability waivers.
Say that again. I think that's a good line.
Sometimes when athletes think their ability isn't being rewarded, their availability becomes an issue.
Put that on a t-shirt. Sharp and Betting in the morning.
It happens.
1620 The Zone.
If you suffer from joint pain, maybe arthritis pain, maybe it's an old injury. Well, tell you what, those traditional treatments, pain meds, maybe it's steroids, maybe it's surgery. Yeah, those are kind of some old ways. And QC Kinetics is here with a better way, an alternative, if you will. Local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, rocking and rolling. It's the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. It's an advanced and exciting natural alternative that can give you lasting relief using your body's own healing power. Listen, steroid shots can be toxic to the joints over time. Pain meds can be addictive, and nobody wants to go under the knife. It's 2022. There are new ways, and regenerative medicine is one of them. You can restore and repair damaged joint tissue using natural biologics. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. QC Kinetics regenerative protocols can address any pain in any joint. Give yourself the quality of life you deserve. Call now for a free consultation at 402-205-4960. That's 402-205-4960.
little bit of a change. Steve Sipple, something has come up, so Sip will not be joining us. Maybe we'll get him tomorrow. He will not be able to participate in the whole day and whole season that is going on of Troll List for engagement season. Did you see the quarterback list that was put out by PFF, College PFF of college quarterbacks? Spencer Rattler still getting a lot of love. CJ Stroud not getting as much love.
So Rattler's new environment. I mean, we'll see. Like, that could be a thing. All right, some guys just need a fresh set of eyes.
I like what Shane Beamer's doing at South Carolina.
Yeah, not a good look last night with the whole Wake Forest thing resurfacing again. Wow. Wow. I forgot all about that. My man just turning state's evidence on a broadcast.
Yeah.
On Wake Forest.
Their color analyst was giving away secrets that were relayed to him by players. And, actually, players and coaches. So this is the list, and I'm not sure if it's been deleted or not, but I do have a screenshot of it. College football's PFF did a top 10 quarterbacks in college football. And in the NFL, quarterbacks are a hot topic. We'll get to Lamar Jackson, who I still don't know how he's not on the top 10 of that ESPN list that was released earlier this week. But this is the top 10 quarterbacks in college football. They have Bryce Young, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, number 1. Caleb Williams, number 2. Spencer Rattler, number 3. CJ Stroud, number 4. Sam Hartman, Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina. Brennan Armstrong from Virginia. Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma. And Keaton Slovis, who they still have at USC.
Yeah, I like Slovis. He's at Pitt, but I told you I like Slovis. All SC bias aside. Yeah, but Rattler's talented, right? We know that.
He has shown glimpses, yes.
Maybe a different set of eyes will unlock the flashes and turn them into more like a little more flow. Instead of the flash flooding, you get a nice stream.
He has another opportunity to make some money if he turns things around, and he's consistently good at South Carolina. I mean, remember, he wasn't supposed to be in college. This was supposed to be it. He was NFL guy, boom, gone. And then what happened at Oklahoma, which allowed Caleb Williams to emerge, which if you're Oklahoma, you're like, gosh, if Rattler would have worked out, we'd still have Caleb Williams, might even still have Lincoln Riley. But he's got another opportunity at South Carolina. But this whole discussion on these lists, and, it's troll list season for engagement about quarterbacks. The word elite gets thrown around about quarterbacks. It's not just a thing that's thrown around in Minneapolis. It is thrown around about quarterbacks. And there are a select few of what I would consider elite quarterbacks in the NFL. There is even a smaller, and maybe there's none of what you would consider elite quarterbacks in college football. But if I say to you, define me what an elite quarterback is. You can go 3 levels, high school, college, or NFL. What's the first thing you say? When I say, what does an elite quarterback look like?
Well, I don't know. This is probably not on your radar, but in the top 3 has to be leadership. Outside of that, there are a multitude of things. Command. I don't know what physical traits you want. For some, it's arm talent. Some, it's not. Some, it's anticipation. I think anticipation has to be in there as well. Probably more intangibles than tangibles.
Clutch factor?
Yeah, that would be an intangible. I mean, because there's multiple ways to get it done, right? Especially if you're going to get into physical attributes, which is why I typically don't.
Yeah.
I mean, Brady's different than Mahomes. Hartman or Baker Mayfield at the college level is different than, Bryce Young. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
So the discussion on Lamar Jackson, and you tweeted out the conversation that he had with Pollard yesterday. I asked this question in trying to, the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, Mahomes and Rodgers and Brady and Josh Allen is in the top 4. There's Burrow, Herbert. So some of the usuals. But the top guys are they have separated themselves. I think you have to tier it instead of going 1 through 10. But if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, just talent, just intangibles, who would you rather have at quarterback, Lamar Jackson or Dak Prescott?
Lamar Jackson.
Dak Prescott is in the top 10 in this poll that was released earlier this week by ESPN.
Oh.
Now, Deshaun Watson is also in the top 10, and he might be a guy until he comes back and plays that you slide out. And then once he comes back and plays, if he's Deshaun Watson, he slides right back into the top 10. But Lamar Jackson not in the top 10. Dak Prescott is.
Yeah.
Herbert is in the top 10.
You know what's interesting?
Kyler Murray is in the top 10.
I like Matt Stafford more than almost anybody.
And he's the other guy in the top 10.
More than almost anybody I know. Like I go to bat for Matt Stafford, but he's still too high on this list.
He's 7th,
5 or 6, I think he was. Still too high on that list. So I mean, I don't understand. Somebody smarter than me has got to do this, but I was reading that thread, and Pollard said, and I'm not pawning, like, I don't know his like football acumen credentials. I'm not one of those guys just because you played in the pros makes you something other than a guy having an opinion. I'm not like, unless you're actually critiquing the game or, the nuances. He said he's a top 10 player, but not a top 10 quarterback.
Which, not sure what that means.
It doesn't make any sense because I don't know if you know this, Chance. Lamar Jackson plays quarterback
for the Baltimore Ravens.
So how does that happen? I'm a top 10 player, but I'm not a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, that absolutely makes no sense.
Hollywood Brown drops the ball.
I'm
Lamar Jackson's a top 10 quarterback. He's the Rodney. He's the Rodney Dangerfield of NFL quarterbacks. He doesn't get.
He wins a lot of games.
People forget quickly about what he's been able to do. They were one of the best teams in the AFC last year while he was healthy. Remember, they were the number 1 team in the AFC until he got hurt in Week 14 when he had his ankle injury that knocked him out for the rest of the year. He's also won a league MVP. Is it because you think the style that he plays, you don't like it, so you don't give him respect? I think the bottom line and his results tell you that he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. If you're Dallas today, Prescott or Jackson walks into your facility, who are you telling to go home? I'm taking Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, would you take Kyler Murray over Dak?
That's good. Yes. Boy, that's tough. Because I'm not a Dak hater. Like, but Dak has to. So this is kind of how I look at it. Can I win a game because of that quarterback? Kyler Murray, I'm more inclined to say yes than Dak Prescott. That's the nod.
No,
I'm not saying that has to be your barometer. That's kind of how I look at it in my head. I get asked to compare things all the time, so I kind of have a general criteria. Players of different like I have my I just kind of have a thing in my head. And can I win? Am I winning? Can a guy go win the game for me? Kyler Murray, I think, ahead of Dak Prescott in that regard. Lamar Jackson ahead of both.
I don't know why Lamar Jackson's not in this top 10 list.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, right? It's like it's almost become its own narrative. Like for an MVP that's currently still playing, that has won as many games as he has when he starts, I don't understand why people go out of their way for the disrespect. Everybody has flaws in their games.
I mean,
you want to get into Mahomes' decision making? I'd still take that guy. I'd take that guy ahead of everybody else in the league. So I mean, Rodgers hasn't exactly won a ton of big games. Like, everybody has flaws in their game.
And if you're going to die on the hill of Jackson's playoff record, well, and you're going to have Kyler Murray in the top 10,
Dak Prescott?
Yeah, I know but the top end of this list, when you have these kind of lists, and the quarterbacks in the NFL, there is very little argument about the top 4: Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen, and Brady. Now, there might be some Josh Allen hesitation, but those are the top 4, and there's not really a lot of, because Brady, as long as Brady's playing, he's going to be on any of these lists in the top 5.
Yeah, I think I don't hate on Josh Allen a ton because I think he can play in multiple systems.
He's proven it the last couple of years.
Dude's got range.
Yeah. So I don't have any problem with Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen, and Brady. All right, 7:47. A little bit later, Brian Edwards is going to stop by. We have Ask Us Anything, a chance to win a gift card from Oscar's Pizza and Grill. But before the break, here is Random Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hey, guys. Damon, I'm not to overdo it, but I've had Marlon Briscoe on my mind quite a bit. How tall was he actually?
I would say 5'10".
Okay. And Russell Wilson?
5'11", maybe.
Russell Wilson similar?
Yeah, Russell Wilson probably right around there.
Do you consider Russell Wilson one of the top quarterbacks?
I do.
Yeah, drafted in the 3rd round?
Exactly.
Yeah, so everybody could have had him at least twice. But personally, for me, quarterback, it's pro quarterback, the elite position in American sports. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's about right? I mean, if you're a quarterback, it's different for you. Better than a point guard or a catcher or pitcher, right?
Yeah, I mean, would you agree, Gary? It's the elite position in American
it's the number one. It's the number one position of all the sports.
Yeah, in this country. And for me, just to be honest with you, when I record something on the DVR or whatever, that's not a team or a player that I'm really rooting for. It's almost always a quarterback like Jackson or Mahomes or Russell Wilson, or in college, Johnny Manziel. We don't talk about him now, but I don't think anybody heard Nick Saban as much as Johnny Manziel. Is that a fair statement?
He opened the eyes to the key to beat Alabama with the spread.
Yeah, and they asked Nick Saban, well, how do you think Manziel will do in the NFL? And he says, he'll do fine. We can't stop him. And for whatever reason, it hasn't happened. But I feel so cheated and so sad about what happened to Briscoe, because who knows how great he could have been. And I mean, do you agree? We'll never know. Or Doug Flutie playing, his prime years in Canada. I mean, he was voted the best player ever in Canada. I mean, that's significant and so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Mike, what do you want in your quarterback first?
Well, I read this book by Steve Young, or at least part of it. How do you think Young would have done at Nebraska in the system we ran?
He would flourish.
Oh, man, wouldn't that have been fantastic?
Yeah.
But you know what he says? A big part of his development, and a lot of it is how long you've been in the league, that he said he was told by Holmgren, a great coach, that you should have made this throw. And he said, well, I didn't see him open. I couldn't see. And part of it is height or his experience or whatever. And basically, he had to learn how to make the throws blind.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? I mean, that's a scary thing.
That's the thing I was telling Sharpie, where I said it's not like a tangible, but I reference anticipation. That's a huge part of quarterback play.
Yeah. And then this is where I think Whipple's going to really help us, where everybody's got to be in the right place. And a big part of it is you're in the league a certain number of years where you know more and you're studying. And Steve Young said, as smart as he is, he said, I had to really study so that I could make those blind passes. It might be 2 or 3 a game where it makes the difference between winning and losing. So these, Jackson, I recorded him. He's still a young guy, and you can tell when he loses in the playoffs, there's some decisions or throws that he's making that maybe 2 years from now he won't. He won't make those mistakes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Hey, take care, guys.
Mike, thanks for the phone call. Russell Wilson, 5'11".
Go back and look at the throw that Steve Young made to Terrell Owens against Green Bay. And
Oh, the
we'll
one
talk-
that's a highlight that is shown over and over.
Talk about anticipation. T.O. gets a lot of credit for the catch and after coming back from darn near being benched, but how about the throw?
I'm a big Steve Young fan.
Fire them!
Huge Steve Young fan.
So underappreciated on the national scope.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a guy with, darn near 100 QBR for his career. Dude was the real deal, man.
Came on the heels of Montana.
I was joking with Schaefer on Twitter because apparently I think he's kind of carried the banner for Lamar. And I was telling him, my favorite, this is what guys will do when they want to pull a guy back or tell you how much they don't like him. Well, what he's doing isn't sustainable. What are you going to do when he's not as fast and he can't run? I don't know. I'm like, insert good athlete. Tell that to, Chris Johnson or 98% of the skill guys in the NFL. What happens when their athleticism goes? Very few can pull a Larry Fitzgerald and thrive, right?
Yes.
Like, or Chris Carter. Like, come on, man. Like, that's it. That's 90% of the guys playing. What happens when their legs go? Well, they either adjust or they get somebody different. That's what happens.
Well, and so this list is interesting because of the Kyler Murrays and the Lamar Jacksons and those kind of quarterbacks. This is a list of 50 league executive coaches, scouts, and players. There's probably people that were polled that passed on Lamar Jackson in 2018. They didn't have him on his board, but this is the old school football evaluator. They're stuck in that version of quarterback of what they should look like instead of seeing what a quarterback can look like. But the disrespect for Lamar Jackson is amazing. It's laughable. He's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He doesn't have to be in your top 5 because he's not a top 5 quarterback. But in the back end of a top 10, Lamar Jackson needs to be in there or you're not doing it right.
Yeah. I mean, it just must be the offseason.
It's the troll list for engagement. But in this case, this is taken seriously.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and this is a debate that
turned
into a rift between
really,
two NFL guys yesterday.
Well, if you go back to the college one, are you really taking Rattler over C.J. Stroud?
I'm not.
Right. But Rattler was a spot ahead of Stroud. Stroud's pretty good. I don't care. Oh, it's because he's throwing to good players. Yeah, there's good players in the NFL too.
Correct. Somebody's got to get him the football.
Fudge.
How
about the love for Grayson McCall, though?
There you go. So that could be a case. This old school football evaluation is you look at a quarterback and you go, okay, what I am seeing is what they can be instead of what a quarterback should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm big into anticipation because and the leadership thing. Those are going to be top 2. And those are coincidentally pick a guy on the quarterback list and see what you think. Take Spencer Rattler. What do you think about leadership and anticipation? They seem down on his physical talent list, right?
Especially
I think those are the 2 things that hold him back, right?
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're going off last year.
Not very many throws he can't make though.
Nope.
Good athlete.
No. And he's got one of those. He's got that gunslinger mentality that he thinks he can make every throw.
It's the set aside.
All right, 7:55. Almost through 2 hours of a Thursday edition of Sharp and Betting in the Morning. We'll get you an update on the Open, the leaderboard. Scores have been pretty good today at the old course. Tiger is getting ready to tee off here shortly. He's about an hour away. So keep you updated on that. We'll get you a check of the board when we come back on Sharp and Betting in the Morning at 1620 The Zone. Shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first. Why do I tell you to go over to 119th and I and hang out with the great folks over there? Because you're going to find, trust me, you're going to find that stylish SUV or that capable truck either for business or pleasure there in their indoor showroom. Yep, climate controlled. They've got plenty of inventory. Was there just recently. New or new to you at great prices. So check them out in person at 119th and I, Woodhouse Buick GMC, or you can go online. I know you don't have a lot of time to search all over the place, but you can go online. You can see all of the inventory from Woodhouse Buick GMC online at woodhousebuickgmc.com. Customer service, you'll be able to interact with the sales staff immediately, fill out a credit application, value your trade. You can set up a test drive. You can do it all. They make it easy on you, whether in person at 119th and I or online at woodhousebuickgmc.com. GMC, we are professional grade. The line is out tonight for the Toronto-Kansas City game with the Kansas City Storm Chasers playing. Toronto minus 375, which is one of the larger numbers you're going to see during regular season baseball.
Yeah. Garrett Cole was, I think, equal the other night out against either the Pirates or the Reds. That's tie.
How are you feeling if you're former Toronto manager Charlie Montoya? You got canned before you were playing the Kansas City Storm Chasers.
Well, they had to make a move.
Saved your job. Well, they've underachieved. They were supposed to be that quantum leap team. They're 40, what they won yesterday, 47 and 42.
That's the difference in relationships with your ownership group, because Montoya, he needs a new job and La Russa doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And, but that's, different relationship with the front office.
Yeah. The White Sox bounced back and split their series with the Guardians. Rough day to get fired as the manager of the Blue Jays on the first day of NHL free agency in Toronto. You think that got any run on 590 The Fan in Toronto? They want to talk about Johnny Goodrow going to Columbus.
Yeah.
What? He leaves Calgary to go to Columbus? What?
That Columbus is going to be one of those teams to keep an eye on to start the season as a team that can make a move.
How about Columbus, Detroit, and Ottawa made the biggest splash yesterday?
I know it.
Sharp and Benning in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app. Here are Gary Sharp and Damon Benning.
Morton delivers. And Lindor rips it deep in the air, right field. Acuna turns around, watches it fly. That one's way out of here. A 3-run blast for Francisco Lindor. He comes through in the top of the third inning, and he extends the Mets lead to 4-0.
Halftime, Sharp and Benning in the morning on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Hearth Cigars, Pipes, and Lounge. Great place to enjoy a nice cigar, a little cocktail. You want to shoot the breeze, relax, catch up, reminisce, talk playoff expansion, talk conference expansion, talk politics, whatever. Hearth Cigars, Pipes, and Lounge has got you covered. Great location off the North 48th Street exit, the Mormon Bridge Road, located right next to Cubby's.
As I walk on the course over in Scotland, my name is Cameron Young, and I'm in first place.
Wow. Not one.
I was 8 under today.
Not one.
I never hit it in the hay.
He kind of ended with a rhyme. That was okay.
Well, not everything has to be a rhyme and a rap.
That's true.
That's what Chance taught me.
What are you going? Were you team haiku?
I could drop a lot of. You know what? I was pretty good at writing haikus.
Oh Lord!
I had my little English book, that little blue book that had the lined paper in it. You wrote with a pencil. Ah.
Yeah, I'm Gary Sharp for iambic pentameter. Stop.
Just saying. I think I was off to a good start there. Then you killed the music. If you would have no words, I could make up my own words. I was just trying to add a little difference to the open instead of going. Cameron Young from the United States. He is 8 under. Cameron Smith from Australia. My pick, 5 under. And how about Ernie Els? We got to go Ernie Els.
Okay.
He's ringing the bells.
Okay. Sure.
He is 5 under through 14. There's a guy named Rory. Oh my gosh. He's like big game Bob Orry.
Nice segue.
Then we got a guy that sounds more like the shoes that you bought when you were young named Barclay Brown. You didn't buy those shoes? What was that?
Hey.
What was the little shoe place when we were younger? The Browns. Not Hush Puppies. There was a place that had Brown in it that I bought shoes at when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, Barclay, who's
you
from
better
Stanford.
hush yourself. You better let it go. You only got one shot to get it right. Don't you know? Like, shh.
Don't worry. I'm sure if I'm bad, we'll get into a fight.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, sure.
People can't get out of me on Twitter. Did you say out of me? Yes. Because Twitter apparently is experiencing an outage for some users. I think I am one of them. Maybe because I am on Chrome. But if you are trying to use the famous social media platform, which is just a lovely website where we all meet and greet each other, we have productive conversations, you may be met with a message that says, tweets aren't loading right now. Try again.
I had to get off of I'm off TweetDeck. I was trying to respond to my man Nick. He was asking me about Lamar Jackson, and I was hitting a reply, and it was like, there's too many people online. Try again. Or too many
people online.
Or too many responses.
What is this, AOL?
Yeah, and then I logged out.
The dial-up AOL, we're going to get kicked off because there's way too many people. There's way too many people using my account in my house. So one of you is going to have to go. Hour number 3. While the show's flying by here on a Thursday. Quick update on the Open. If you don't want me to do it in the rap form, thank you, New York, Big Blue Nation, Richie. The name of the place was Buster Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Buster Brown, he lives in a shoe. I got plenty of shoes at Buster Brown. That's when America was right. Now there are no Buster Browns. America's gone wrong. Cameron Young has been great today. He 8 under. So the scores have high. The wind has picked up. I'm just judging off a guy's pants. They're flapping in the wind.
Yeah, gloves blowing.
Yes.
Oh, the whole 9.
Cameron Smith, 5 under. He is done. Ernie Els is having a great day. Been a decade since he won the Open. He is 5 under through 14. Rory, 5 under through 12. He has been really good. And then Barclay Brown is done. He is 4 under. Interesting leaderboard, not bad.
I can't redo the energy vibe from saying amateur again like I did earlier. Chance probably has that recorded somewhere, but yes, he is an amateur. I'm not as excited.
He's an amateur.
Yeah.
He's an amateur.
Is that how I said it? I can't even remember.
He's a chicken.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a Barclay Brown. He's an amateur. I mean, it's amazing what he's doing. I mean, he's rising up the board. It's like a great story.
Now you're
it's like Tin Cup.
Now you're from Boston. Like that definitely wasn't me.
Yeah,
like what is wrong with you?
Since
man?
we had Matt Vincenzi on yesterday, I got this Boston accent.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Because you're weird.
Huh? No, I'm not weird.
What is he wearing?
Well, that's your guy, Justin Thomas.
What? Like no, but
women are fawning over him today. He's got tight pants on.
Dude, those are like, what did the kids call those? Those are what are the warm-up pants that gather at the ankle?
Joggers?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's some joggers. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, he just hit a ball, and there's a guy getting ready to putt, and the ball is Justin Thomas's ball is like rolling towards the guy putting. Yeah, he has a look. The people at the Open are very stylish.
It's fashion. It's not like Wimbledon, man. Wear what you want to. Sign Nick Kyrgios.
I could never be a professional golfer on the tour
because you have no game.
No, I have the game, kind of, for maybe a hole or two, but I couldn't wear tight pants.
It's not what she said.
Why do golfers wear like the tightest pants ever?
Because they're fit.
Well,
if your frame was different, you'd wear those seersucker pleatless pants.
Trust me, if my frame was different, there'd be a lot of things I would wear, like a Speedo at the beach and stuff like that.
Okay, TMI.
But instead, I just go with the
TMI, the balloon, the parachute shorts,
regular swim trunks. Brian Edwards coming up. No Sip here in this hour. Sip will reschedule. Get him tomorrow.
Sip said he's off the grid.
He get in trouble? He's reports something he's not supposed to report?
I asked him if he was okay. He said, relatively speaking.
Is he trying to get the latest scoop? Maybe he has 4 players from ABM that he has to talk to. Who haven't they talked to?
You're a child.
What position group haven't they talked to? Have they talked to the specialists?
You're a child.
Hey, come here. I'll interview you and you get a T-shirt. That's a heck of a deal. That's why players aren't coming on our shows, because we don't give them any 1620 of the swag. Like we give them beer shirts. Why can't we do that?
Or give them the beer.
We'd have the whole damn roster on the air.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So Brian Edwards a little bit later, but here is, speaking of Brian, here is spelled differently, I think. Here is Brian. Brian, welcome to the show.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, B?
Yeah, hey,
we usually have a heads up, like, you know, the former guy in the chair would say, fickle people are out of breath. It just depends on what kind of mood he was in. Chance is still getting acquainted. Like we would have probably greeted you different if we would have known.
Yeah, I just gave him a little bit of hazing. Just a little surprise.
It's okay. I'm used to
it. That's all.
Chance is like Teflon, by the way.
Hey, Dame, I want you to know I'm sitting out here on 120th Dodge area, facing west, looking up in the sky.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how this rainbow appeared right after Gary got done rapping, like it's a promise from the most omnipotent that he will never do that again.
Hey, did you hear that?
Never do that again. Okay, so ever.
Ever.
Receive, Gary, and there's the rainbow. It's in the western sky. I can see it. And that's a promise from the most omniscient. You promise you would never ever do that again in your career.
Can anybody go into character quicker than that? It's almost like
I got you until there's something new.
He literally can lose himself for like 2 or 3 minutes and be like this different person, and then he like comes back to normal. It's crazy. He doesn't even need any friends. He could make up some.
I'm seeing that you guys are really vibing. Got you guys yourself on TV. No one can ever say you guys only have a face made for radio. Because you guys look great on video.
Thank you.
For me, I appreciate that.
Thanks,
but I just wanted to answer your question. You know, when you asked about Dak Prescott.
Yes.
Kyler Murray. I don't know, because I'm looking at a lot of what quarterback. A lot of what I hear what people want for quarterbacks is dependency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Kyler's not making it. Now that's not saying there's another couple of quarterbacks I would trade for Dak Prescott, and Russell Wilson was one of them. But
he had
never
that.
got
I thought
him.
that was a pretty hard question. Like I couldn't just freely answer that, but I think I'm pretty sure I would take Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you're right. You can win games because of him. Dak Prescott, he can look good and maybe match you, but he's not going to be someone you're going to win a championship with. But, you know, he can be good right now in the NFC Least, the way they're going. We don't have any competition there at all, it looks like, except for Philly. But, yeah.
Do you believe the Commanders are on the come, or just because of their quarterback signing, you're like, eh?
I don't care what they change their name to. They're still going to be the Foreskins to me. Okay?
Oh, no.
There's never – I don't want to hear nothing about this. Hey, this is old NFC East hate. I just go back to the 80s. The only team I despise more than the Reds, than that team right there, is the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think I told you guys why. You never cheer a man while he's temporarily paralyzed on your field that is taking out so many people. You know, the vet. When they took out Michael Irvin and they cheered and clapped for him, I cannot stand that fan base whatsoever. That's the most disrespectful fan base in the world. But I don't think the Commanders really. They got the quarterback, the recycle quarterback again. He's back to the NFC.
That guy would be named Carson Wentz.
Yeah, like I said, I don't remember his name because he's not memorable. So, but I don't think he's really going to do anything. It's like they're just recycling a bunch of trash. So,
I love this.
I don't see what they're going to do. But that's my take on it, guys. Have a nice day.
I love this time of the year.
Ooh, out of breath, Brian, for circumcision. Who says that?
B. And it's perfectly fine.
In 48 years, I've never heard that. Oh, okay. It's childish. Well, I thought that was funny. We don't even use that term anymore. They're the forceps. What the?
Some people use it.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Doctors, maybe.
I mean, if you still sell
it just rolled right off his tongue.
That's what I love. That's about rivalries. B is a diehard Cowboy fan.
Yeah, he's getting into
so he's a longtime Cowboy fan when the hate for Washington and the hate for Philadelphia was higher than it's not even close to what it is now. I mean, you still do, but back then when you were competing for Super Bowl championships, those are teams you had to go through.
He's getting into the world of training. He's got a little stud. This Micah's age. He's going to get into training himself. I told him my only word of caution is those dynamics, man. You got to sometimes be able to step away and just parent. I was watching. Mike has got me watching some crazy show on, I don't know if it's Disney or something. It's with the old guy from that had the twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley. No. The other little twins, the Tanners.
Yes.
What show was that? Come on, Chance. Whatever the good-looking guy that used to ride the Jesse. He's a basketball coach, and he's coaching like he'd won all these championships at Wisconsin and
John Stamos.
I don't know his name,
yeah.
but whatever. And fictitiously, then he gets fired, and he's coaching at an all-girls school and whatever. I don't even know why we got into it. He said it's like Coach Carter for girls, but we're just
called Big Shot.
Yeah. I'm just meeting my kiddo where he's at, right? He had a line in the.
So he's named Marvin Korn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the one of the girls, she's pretty good, and her dad coached her whole life, and all of a sudden he's got a new coach, and he's having a hard time letting go because he's teaching her new facets of her game. And after the game, her dad was like, "Man, I thought I was your coach," and she said, "You were when I was a kid. I just need you to be a dad." Dude looks at her like, wow. Oh man, been there. I know.
All right, so let me pose another little quarterback question for you in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm watching weird shows on Disney. Don't judge.
And I can see why, maybe I can't. Why the word foreskin would elicit, "Hey, I'm watching the show, John Stamos, my kid." No idea where that was going. So I'm gonna give you a question about quarterbacks. Like this time.
It's
such a great time of the year.
What do you want?
The Joe Burrow-esque leap.
Pardon?
I'm giving you the leap that Joe Burrow
Oh,
made.
has to leap.
No, that he made from his rookie year to last year.
Joe Burrow-esque.
Yes, Joe Burrow-esque leap.
Okay.
Remember, he shortened rookie season because of the knee injury, and then he went to the Super Bowl last year.
All right, I'm with you.
Which quarterback more likely to have a similar result? Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields. I don't include Mac Jones because you could include Mac Jones. So I'm going to give you, think about it, we'll go to the break. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. And you know what? Because he's starting Davis Mills to make the Joe Burrow-esque leap in year number 2.
All right.
They're not going to become an elite quarterback. Well, maybe they will. I mean, Burrow. I
got.
Do we even? By the way, one quick question on that list. We don't really hesitate on Burrow, right? Burrow is 5th.
Yeah,
on that list.
It's a little high.
We just kind of glossed over that. That was a pretty quick ascension.
Everybody's still tripping off Brian.
That's what. If you hate a team so much, I know you don't like that word, but if you despise a team so much, yeah.
I think the worst I could come up with would be the Clowns, is what I would say. But that wasn't where, I don't know. I should probably grow up. Maybe some other time.
I mean, it's reality. It's a piece of life for some guys and gals. Sharp and betting in the morning.
So are twist ties.
Lots of talk today about football. You know, it's right around the corner. 44 days away around here before Nebraska Northwestern in Dublin. And then a homestand for Nebraska, including that huge showdown against Oklahoma on September 17th. And you don't want to miss a home or an away game on the Nebraska schedule. That's why get a hold of my friends at Tickets for Less, formerly Ticket Express. They provide the same quality, same top-notch customer service. And most importantly, you don't ever have any of those outrageous fees when you go to check out. That's what Tickets for Less does for you. Check out the inventory. And you know what? Do some comparison, and you will keep coming back. TheTicketsForLess.com is the place to go when you want the best seats, whether you're going to watch Nebraska play. Also, keep an eye, you know, what basketball is going to be like in this city this upcoming winter, or you want to go to your favorite NFL game, ticketsforless.com has the best selection, the best prices, and never those outrageous fees at checkout. Check them out today. Ticketsforless.com. All right, we roll through a Wednesday. The Open is underway, so we've got early morning sports viewing. Lots of football talk today. Yes, this is how it's supposed to be. This is what it's going to be. Oklahoma and Texas are at Big 12 Media Days today. Brent Venables, you think they'll play the kind of the disrespect card?
I don't know. He's a class act. I bet he keeps it business. I like Venables. You know, like kind of reinvented himself.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a little taken for granted at the tail end of OU, right? Yeah, I need a change and freshen it up, and goes to Clemson and got them playing at a high level. I like Venables, man. Never doesn't throw guys under the bus. He chills, man. I like him.
So they will talk at Media Days today, and Steve Sarkisian is there as well. Be quite the dynamic, especially the way with Texas is recruiting and what's on the line after a 5-7 season. Welcome back in Sharp Betting in the Morning. Thanks to everybody that, like myself, bought shoes at Buster Brown's.
That was everybody's spot.
Yeah, and that was the place to go.
Those were my church shoes.
Ice shoes.
Yeah. Remember how uncomfortable dress shoes for kids used to be?
Yep.
It's almost like you could never break those things in. They made noise. You had to walk flat. You had to walk without any bend in your feet. People are like, "What's wrong with you?" And you're like, "I don't know, man. My feet hurt."
That's why I get what Chubba Purdy was going through.
Yeah. That's how fasciitis started, right? Bad church shoes.
By the way, are you surprised that did not become more of a story outside of here? That a guy had the wrong shoes on, so it impacted his availability in the spring? Because to say that out loud seems like to be crazy, but
yeah,
I'm glad they got it fixed.
Guess what? You're talking to a guy who was in bad shoes and had foot problems. I mean, primarily because when I broke that bone, I broke my foot when I was in 8th grade. But I get it. So it's a real thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
You used to mess with me about having my own special ship pair of shoes and stuff, and I'd say, hey, you know what, Doak got to order those for me, and it had to be under, but that matters. And we had a couple of 4 or 5 guys that, you're in the wrong shoes for a while. You try it because it's company policy, and I don't know. I don't.
Didn't D'Angelo Evans have a shoe issue that led to the turf toe?
Yeah, he went
kinds
through
of havoc that he went through.
Jello went through probably. Man, I bet I watched that dude go through like 10 pair of shoes. But he was kind of a wobbler, so he would, his toes went first. What
an interesting brief career at Nebraska.
We got a lot of revisionist history when it comes to that guy, but that's
in the good or bad way.
I think we like lament. I don't know.
No.
I'm the
bad dude had to go.
I'm not the right guy for that.
I stand with Frank Solich on this. I had a long conversation about D'Angelo with Frank, and he had to go. It's sometimes you got to have a divorce. It's best for both parties. Sometimes you like the person you got divorced from. Other times you're like, you know what? I wish you the worst. Well, Andrew Martinez spoke yesterday. I mean, people wish him the best. K. Coos writes in our discussion earlier about Brody Belt. Comments by his position coach.
Oh, you're talking about K squared. I didn't. You say K Coos. Okay.
And were we going to change? Should we go K squared?
No,
or K
I just depends. I call him.
Because now anybody that tweets, calls, or emails the show or joins on the TV stream has a nickname.
Pretty much.
Nobody gets their real name
unless I don't like you. So if I just was
I know that. When you call me Gary, I know I'm in trouble.
If I just say your name, it probably is yeah, that ain't good.
So he says Belt has 2 things going against him. The Frost era has not been good with walk-on wide receivers. And if there is a walk-on wide receiver, how many have been good under 6 feet tall?
Well, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's not just he means hopefully he means in general, because I mean, that would be like asking me how many guys that typically don't see that well make good.
But so Belt's technically walk on, but are we still looking at him as oh my gosh, he's a walk on?
I hope. See, again, that says I'm gonna get off this, man. But you keep reeling me back in. That says more about us as the fans than it does him, the person. Chance.
He's played 28 games.
Lose my mind. Hello, people calling on the phone. What's up? Say, hey, what's up? This is Chancey Pants.
Hey, what's up? What's your name?
Hey, he did it. He said it.
Wow.
I can't wait to hear who's on the back end of this.
Hey, all you got to say is, hey, what's up? Hello.
No, remember, you said you had game, man. That is not
game.
I
have game.
That is.
You just got to let me expand my game.
That is.
You shut me down too early.
That is not. That is.
It's like
Well, I'll play you some bed music if you want to fire it up again.
Oh, I will. Maybe we'll just do it on a Friday. That'll be a Friday thing.
You think David was probably like, dude, why is this guy answering the phone like
this? So before we get to David, because he wants to join in the discussion this morning about NFL. What was going on there?
What happened, Chance?
What was
What? I was just like-
goofball.
Did you just release something?
I was just like, that was I could definitely tell David was trying to like keep it straight face. I was like, yeah, I'd like to talk about the quarterbacks.
Hey, man, this is Chancey Pants. What's up?
Hello.
Tight games.
Thank you for calling AM Radio. May I take your call?
Next person that calls. Hey, what's up? Hello. Please.
All
right. So why? We're very customer friendly radio
why are
show.
you encouraging tomfoolery?
Because you know what? When if you ever like if you called whoever you called today,
Yeah.
and they answer the phone like that, wouldn't that put you in a good mood?
That would be next.
You would like laugh and you'd be like, okay.
My favorite is Chance's phone. Chance speaking.
Chances are. Chance, how many planned words have you had over your brief career of life over your name? A ton?
A lot. I've had take a chance. There's a chance. You might have a chance.
You got a great pickup line. Hey, take a chance on me.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
No, we've retired. What's up?
Oh.
Or was up.
Oh, what's up?
Yeah.
Take a chance.
We on this side say what's up because we're adults.
Uh-huh.
Other people say was up with a W, a U, and a Z somewhere in there. Okay, before we get to David, we're building up David. This better be a fantastic call.
David's going to be like,
so,
yeah.
So
No
the
pressure.
Joe Burrow-esque leap in year 2, Lawrence, Wilson, Lance, Jones, Fields, Mills.
Trevor Lawrence.
I absolutely agree with you because you got rid of Urban Meyer.
Trevor Lawrence.
And you and
I think he's actually going to get coached.
And I think Doug Peterson will be the right guy for him.
Yep. I'm in agreement there, Sharpay. I'm in agreement.
Bears fans would love Justin Fields to make any kind of leap under their new head coach.
That's tough.
Good morning, David. Thanks for holding. Welcome to Sharp and Betting in the Morning.
What's happening, fellas?
Hey,
Dave,
David.
what's up? Oh gosh.
Hey. I just had the heck of a
David's-
welcome.
Hey,
So-
so David's a good guy, and that's not like a bad response.
Can I explain?
No, because it's going to be a bad explanation.
What did I just say about when Chance got the call? I can't wait to hear what David thinks. And it's this David that Chance said, this is Chancey Pants to. So a guy that's got jokes had to listen to that call. That's why I said that.
Hey,
D,
my man Chance was on the struggle bus a little bit answering that phone, but there is a chance he's learning his job. So, but no, I wanted to kind of chime in on the quarterback. I know I talk about high school a lot. It's just kind of my agenda I like to put out there locally, but I am obviously a huge sports fan, but so going back to the original comment, I wanted to kind of actually, before I get into your second question, I want to go back to your first one you were talking about with the quarterbacks, and I'm just curious, let's take out the happy endings or the non-happy endings with Deshaun Watson, but where do you guys put him in this mix?
Well, they have him top 10, and Sharpie he said, if he returns to form, okay, like he's top 10, but
he hasn't played in a while. So I said, David, slide him out until he comes back and plays a full season.
See, I'm a huge Eagles fan, and to be quite honest, I wanted him. I don't have a problem with Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts, but you got a difference between somebody who's still trying to prove it and somebody who has proven it. I wanted to take the guy that has shown me, and the guy was, what is he? Maybe 26.
Deshaun is.
So
yes.
For me, he's in my top 5, to be quite honest with you, minus the the problems. But going on to your second question, I was leaning towards Trevor Lawrence. I do like the Doug Peterson obviously situation. I think overall, to be quite honest, I might shock you because the more I thought about it, I would lean Trey Lance just because of the support system that he has. They got good coaching. They got Deebo Samuel. For me, he might be the one that kind of comes up and sneaks out of nowhere.
That's actually not a bad call. Do you know why? Because what are we starting to hear now? A little more Garoppolo could be on the move. Trey Lance has made strides in the offseason. Like, remember the Garoppolo stuff laid quiet for a while after the surgery, right? They said that they were going to wait and see. Now it's starting to kick up a little bit about Garoppolo maybe being on the move.
I don't have confidence in Garoppolo staying healthy, to be quite honest with you. So, I mean, I don't know if I trust Jacksonville quite yet. They still have a lot to build with, you know. I mean, because when you're talking what Burrow's leap was, I mean, he made a pretty substantial leap, right? I mean, the guy was in the AFC Championship. So, and I guess I'm thinking it from that aspect of not only just the way he played, but for me, the way the team plays. I mean, for me, if I want a quarterback, you know, we use the term dog loosely nowadays. I think a lot of
a little too loose.
But you know, I think for me, I want a guy who's a dog in the film room. That's who I want. You know, it may be an unpopular opinion, but I personally think that Peyton Manning is the best quarterback of all time, just because of the in-game adjustments that he could make on the fly. Just optioning to different calls. I mean, in the middle of a game, I mean, it was amazing to watch. And
you know why Peyton Manning is not held in that kind of regard? Because he couldn't get over the Tom Brady hump.
Right.
And without being able to do that, I don't think most people can put him ahead, because I think Manning had better players offensively.
He had better players offensively, but it's a team game, and the Patriots overall had a better team.
Yeah.
So it makes it bad, but
you never heard Tom Brady say that idiot kicker, liquored up kicker.
Yeah, right. But I want to go to at least some high school, and I don't know if you guys seen this yesterday, but you guys see Kel Fountain decommitting from Florida State yesterday?
Yeah.
How big was that, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder where he's going to go, David.
Yeah, well, that's what I got my eyes on it. I'll tell you that. But all right, guys, have a good one.
All right.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, Cody sent me that.
So he's the 8th grader that, when he was in 8th grade, he committed to Florida State, and he had a great season at Norris.
Yeah, Cody.
And all of a sudden, you got Nebraska coaches that are tweeting out the Big Lebowski, and I mean, you got to understand, Nebraska baseball is going to have 600 guys on the roster this fall,
and Florida State just swapped coaches.
Yeah, I think I'd rather play for Link Jarrett. Link Jarrett over Mike Martin Jr. Hey, we all change our mind.
Yeah, just a day,
Really, is there a number that the Nebraska baseball roster will have? I mean, they're at 20. Are they at 23 new players? Mm-hmm. They're essentially turning the entire roster over,
and
completely over.
It's their version of Flintstone Kids, and growing.
They're not done.
And growing. No. Sorry, Chance. My bad. Out of breath, Brian shook me up, man. I'm trying to recover.
Joey, Bellevue West Joey, emailed in after hearing Brian's call, and he said, "Yo, did he call the Washington the Foreskins?" Yes, yes, he did.
Just seamlessly, like
that is
no big deal.
That's the part of being a Cowboy fan. You hate Washington.
Oh yeah, but if I was a Dallas fan, I probably would hate Philly more.
I mean, what would you rather be called, the Foreskins or the Commies?
Probably Foreskins. People have called me a Richard before.
Think of the.
Nobody's ever called me a commie.
Well, the Soviet Union's not around anymore, so I think it's a lot safer to be called a commie now.
For the record, Damon, I don't consider you a commie. I think it'd be tough for you to pull off.
You trying to
wow
seize the means sometime, Damon?
I just don't see him as a communist guy.
Don't encourage him.
No, I just see him as a communist guy.
He's totally gassing this dude up.
Back to Adrian Broner. You are American.
Yeah, the can man.
Yes.
Yeah, workers unite.
8:45. You still have time to get in your questions. Hopefully this is now leading up to just off the wall stuff today on anything. Ask us anything. Why?
No.
That's what the segment's supposed to be. Not hey Damon, can you break down like Derek Brown and Calvin Jones, if they met today, would they talk?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And why this came up if you were not with us at the beginning of the show.
He's aged nicely. I like D Brown.
He was one of the things that.
But I have a weird affinity for him, so
I have to tell you, he did something that was a pet peeve to me when I first started following Nebraska football. But why we bring up those two? 44 days until football, and we're talking about Calvin Jones way in the first segment. It's a great segment. You should go and listen to it while you're out mowing the lawn today. Remember when, and it still happens, but it's not as regular, where guys would change numbers. when John Bostic changed from 18 to 4, I got a little triggered.
Why?
Well, because in my head, when you got a number to begin your career, that's the number you kept. But it seemed like
If that was the case, LP would have been wearing 32.
I know, but he hadn't played yet in 32. Like John Bostic played as wearing 18. The next year he shows up wearing 4.
Played wearing
27, and then he went to 21. Yeah, so he's the guy that are like, they just let you do that?
Foreman
You can just change numbers?
A lot of guys have changed numbers.
I know.
When you
Foreman
first get
44
there,
to 56.
When you first get there, it's interesting because T. Frazier used to wear 10.
Really? When?
No, that was high school. What was his other number? Trivia question. T. Frazier didn't always wear 15.
At Nebraska?
Yeah.
Really?
Now I gotta ask him.
Whoa. This is something new.
I think this is popular. Hang on. What other jersey number did you wear than 15 again? Question mark.
This might be one of the better trivia questions of all time.
No, I'm dead serious.
Now,
am I misremembering?
Well, Frost wore 19 until on his redshirt season, and then he went to 7.
That voice text just picked up Frost 19. That'll go over well. What the? What?
Nothing. Why don't you ask him?
Sometimes I just say what I'm thinking, right?
Sometimes it gets you in trouble, and sometimes it's great for content on the show.
Yeah, he wore something other than 14. God, that you got the whole. I got to delete.
I got a great, sexy voice.
What number did you wear other than 15 again? Question mark.
Yeah, Frost wore 19 in his red shirt or his sit-out year, and then he wore 7 for the 2 years.
Do you see what that says under there?
Okay.
Yeah, Frostwood 19 in his red shirt. Yours. Stop talking.
Here's a radio show.
I'm the one texting during a live segment. Yeah, don't blame me. It's whatever.
All right, Texter Bernie, he thinks that Frazier wore 17.
Yeah, it might have been 17.
After the blood clot for the Oklahoma game, he suited up but didn't play.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't know that? I'm was it 17? Well, he'll tell me here in a second.
So now I have a question. Man, I have completely blanked on this. Why was he not wearing his regular jersey?
That was Oklahoma, though, I think.
Yeah, that's what Bernie said. But why was he not wearing 15?
Oh, I'm going to get the story here in a minute.
T.O. work quick, man. You're not on the team. They move on quickly. I gave your number to somebody.
What? Oh, shoot. Hey, what is going
to be, that's an incredible trivia question.
Who shared? Yep, he said for one game. Yep, 17. Hey, what are you doing over there?
No. We have to have a follow-up here.
What follow-up? Call him.
I'm on the air.
Hey, who used to share number 1 with LP?
Riley Washington. No, Riley Washington was 3. Frankie London.
Incorrect.
Frankie and LP didn't cross over?
No.
Defense.
Correct.
Defensive back.
Correct.
It was. He popped in my head, but he wore 8. Tyrone Bird. I know. That was not my guess.
Keep giving him every chance you get.
That was not my guess.
No. Don't you dare Google. Don't you dare Google.
I'm not Googling.
What DB shared number 1 with LP momentarily? He changed numbers.
So it was somebody that played a lot.
Correct.
Toby Wright.
Incorrect.
That sounded like a great guess, though.
I did want 3.
All right, stop with the.
Come on, Sharpie.
So he had to. So he switched.
Yes.
Because he played more.
Yeah.
And he played at the same time as LP.
Correct.
Baron Miles.
Incorrect.
God, that was another good.
Who
guess.
are you missing in the secondary?
Tyrone Williams.
Incorrect.
He wore 8. Who am I missing?
Ended up having to split time. Kind of got ran down from behind by a pup.
That wore 1?
Yes.
I'm completely blanking here.
Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Oh, Leggett.
Did not play at the same time.
But I think he's from Spartanburg, isn't he? Maybe not.
No, he's from New Orleans.
Okay.
T. Leggett.
Same part of the country. I blanked.
Kareem Moss.
And then he went to 29.
Correct. Come on, man.
I still got. Why was Frazier wearing 17 for the Oklahoma game?
Oh, man. All right. I'm going to give you the whole backstory.
I've never heard this before.
Yeah.
Where? I was at the game, but I don't.
You're befuddled over something I think a lot of fans knew.
But okay, so why wasn't he wearing his normal
by the
uniform?
way,
He's the starting quarterback in Nebraska.
Bernie's name Texter Bernie? Bernie's a lot of other things than just a texter.
Well, when he tweets or DMs and flames people, he becomes Tweeter Bernie. But in this case, he was Texter Bernie. I mean, he hasn't infuriated the people that run the NSA for a while. So
every time I hear Tweeter, I always think Varsity Blues. Oh, man.
So I guess I could share this story because this was a guest that was in our studio. Bernie says him and Pat Vendetti, they were about 13. They jumped the fence and they were on the sideline next to T. Fraze most of the fourth quarter of that game.
Attaboy.
Hey, that was the day.
Yeah, and Cobble, those guys were cool with fans. Like, they let them get super close.
Dude, there were so many people that would, like, just walk on.
I guarantee you, I guarantee you, one of our listeners out there is the fan that got LP and some of the running backs hot dogs. Guaranteed, they're out there. Hey, so he said didn't have his regular number for the away jersey that was damaged earlier in the season. Since he sat out all those games, they never cleaned or got it fixed.
Come on, Glenn Abbott.
Wow, that's a heck. Now, see, I didn't know the behind the scenes. So you're not getting that anywhere else.
So he said it was cut. So when
it wasn't cleaned or fixed from when he wore it earlier because he had missed all the games. How about that?
That is a great story. That is fantastic.
Yes,
Once wore 17.
Yeah.
Didn't play in the game, but wore 17.
That was a trivia question. I think the light skinned guy used that as a trivia question. Was it him? I don't know. It was some player. Was it Frost? Man, I don't know. I knew that story though. I didn't know why.
How could you not have T. Fraze's jersey ready to go?
Well, every week, you know what's funny? I don't even know how we went down this rabbit hole, but you know what was funny? Every week, they never really gave us the full diagnosis.
Oh,
like
on
every
his
week,
status?
we kept hoping was oh, yeah. We were like, is he coming back? Is this the week? There would be rumors. And T. Fraze never talked about it.
But he was around the team.
Yeah. But there was a stretch he wasn't, though. Like, is this the week? Is this the week? They never really told us.
So T.O. didn't make any.
It just wasn't, just typical Coach Osborne, stay focused on what you can control. Oh, yeah.
And then he comes back, he's wearing 17. That's
hey, do you want to go?
Away.
How do you feel?
Okay.
Dr. Gangerhart. Yeah, that was, I remember that.
So, yeah, that's why I like the whole, this kind of started the whole changing jerseys. That's why you were good. You started 21.
I wanted 3.
That would have been a bad move. 21, better number for you.
T. Wright was like, nah. He's like, go in the pit for it. I'm like, it ain't that serious.
But it was a common thing like that, like guys that had played a lot to change numbers from year to year. Like John Bostic, I even had this conversation with him.
A lot of guys didn't like the numbers that they got as freshmen. Well, Riley Washington, you mentioned him. He went from 82 to 3.
I do remember that. And you know why he went to 3? Made him look faster.
And I think Lance Brown went from like 83 to 14, maybe something like that. Sometimes you got bad numbers when you were younger.
Well, who was wearing 7 that Frost couldn't have 7 in 95? Oh, now this is a good
7 in 95. I don't know if anybody was. I think he just changed numbers. I don't think anybody had 7.
Reggie Ball.
Oh, he did. Yeah. Okay. But Ball was gone.
In 95 when he was redshirting. He wore 19 because he played in the spring game wearing 19.
Yeah, because that was the stretch where Ball and everybody makes up those stories about Clester and Frost, and Clester's like, dude, we didn't overlap. Like those guys were gone because Ball and CJ are the same year, so they didn't interact at all.
Yeah. All right, you learn something new every day.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
All right. Well,
there's your Steven.
We know that
people got to hear you dinged all day.
And Pat Vendetti, walked onto the field, climbed the fence, and walked onto the field.
Hey, who brought those hot dogs? Anybody claiming that? Not to say I ate one or not. I just said running backs in general.
See, that's the whole goal. Are you eating hot dogs by the fourth quarter?
Who were you guys? Nice people.
Sharp and Betting in the morning. We're nice. To some. 1620 The Zone. The news cycle in college football moves so quickly. The Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban thing is long gone, and Deion Sanders got involved. You see what Saban and Sanders did yesterday? They filmed an Aflac commercial together. They have settled their beef via the video. Apparently, it's supposed to be a funny commercial that'll start airing here soon.
Yeah, Deion is lighthearted enough.
That's good. College football is better when Nick Saban and Deion Sanders get along.
Would they ever be coaching in the same conference?
Would anybody be willing to take the leap to hire Deion Sanders at a Power 5?
Sooner rather than later. Sure.
We'll see. If the distinct possibility, if Jackson State has another really good year, would there be an athletic director that would have the cojones to say, Deion Sanders is my guy? Yeah. You think Saban and Sanders, because Deion basically, called out Nick Saban.
Yeah,
you think they donated the funds they got for making the Aflac commercial yesterday?
He had line of the whole altercation. You don't call privately for something you did publicly.
Last hour, Sharp and Betting in the Morning coming up next.
Sharp and Benny in the morning on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the 1620 The Zone app. Here are Gary Sharp and Damon Benning.
With only one out, the bases juice, the pitch, a swing, and this looks like two. And it's booted by the second baseman. Everybody's safe. In comes one, in comes two, and the Royals take a 3-1 lead.
We doing this now?
Yeah.
Chance, is this what you're on this morning?
I don't think we're doing this now, Chance.
It's supposed to be 9:30.
9:30.
Oh, I thought it was 9. Whoops.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Good little tease there.
What did David say? He said, man, Chance was on the struggle bus this morning.
It's like the only thing I struggled with.
That's pretty good, Chance. I
Thank
like that.
Yeah.
Coming together is progress, baby.
Hey, listen
Why,
to that,
why'd your boy just go in the drinky drink?
Yeah, Tiger hit it in the water.
I think he got a speck of dirt in his eye.
Tigers famously love water. They actually do.
No, I know. I'm with you. It's just
Can
funny.
I ask how you know that?
I watched like a lot of
What doesn't he know about random stuff?
Like
I watched a lot of Animal Planet growing up.
You go to the zoo a lot?
Yeah.
Tigers drink a lot of water?
Not like I'm assuming the same as any other person has been to the zoo. The zoo admission price gets expensive as the years go by.
You need a loving mom like myself that gets your family a zoo pass.
Well, she got it a couple of years, but sometimes it's like, better not.
You a fence jumper, Chance?
No, well, that can lead to problems if you jump the fence.
Ask the lady that broke into the zoo and then climbed into the tiger cage. That had a lot of problems there.
Tigers also love attention.
Well, she did too, apparently, with all of our listeners.
What's up?
That was a while ago. Tiger lady. I think she still lives here in Omaha.
I don't know. I don't know.
There were about 15 guys that knew who she was when the thing went down, so I'm sure that somebody's got a beat on her. I ask us anything. We're coming up in the bottom of the hour, and then we'll get Brian Edwards on as well. So think about this. So, and Hap will talk more about it. He's a passionate Royals fan. Is the 10 that are not vaccinated their choice? They're going to Canada. You can't go to Canada. You had to grab your passport and your vaccination card yesterday. So the Kansas City Storm Chasers are taking on the Toronto Blue Jays this weekend. Thank God, like Vinny Pasquantino and Bobby Witt Jr. are still available. But a good majority of the lineup was not available for the Royals. And it has created, as you would expect, with professional athletes and the vaccination to get into Canada, and of course, Canada, Blue Jay players, anybody else professionally coming into this country, they have the same restrictions, is a comment by Whit Merrifield about if he was on a contending team, he would be willing to get a vaccination. His tenure is not going to end well in Kansas City, which is unfortunate, but his vibe has been off all year, and I imagine the losing has gotten to him. But what will be the reaction, you think, when the Royals play their next home game from their fans? Because I'm just looking at the reaction of things that we've said this morning or people have commented on of posts is very, very, a lot of anger, a lot of disappointment, a lot of frustration, a lot of, I'm done. This is embarrassing. As a fan, it's harder to be a fan. The record, the pitching coach, all of those things that have come into play with all this losing. What will be the reaction in Kansas City to the next time the Royals play at home? I mean, they're still going to have Merrifield in the lineup. Benintendi is still going to be there. They won't be traded yet. But you know what? Also, their first home game
Merrifield
back
hasn't played since the quote-unquote toe, right?
Yeah, which I do believe that's legit. But his streak would have ended today. He wouldn't have been able to go to Canada. The first game back for Kansas City, ironically, will be Husker night on the 22nd. I just wonder what the reaction of the fans will be. Damon looked it up earlier. Minus 375 are the Blue Jays a favorite today.
Well, your boy's +1 after one.
All right, Tiger. Tiger saved himself.
Or you had to take a drop.
Drop. Amateur.
It's just what was his name? Mike D. It's the Beastie Boys. Drop. I'm Mike D, and yeah, it's Mike. That was Mike.
Oh, keep going.
No.
I'll pick it up.
Your cash and your jewelry is what I expect. MC8 was with us. I grabbed the face.
Good. That was good.
In the face. Nah, that's a couple of things you can't say out loud.
How about the cameo in Ozark for Killer Mike?
I had no idea.
From Run the Jewels.
No idea.
So in the cafe near the end, one of the last episodes, Ruth was listening to music.
Oh, yeah.
And she got up and she stops and she talks to.
That's Killer Mike?
That's Killer Mike.
Oh.
Yeah,
I am pretty happy you saw that show.
I'm done with it. I did not like the last scene.
Yeah. It hit some folks hard.
It did. And you know what? I don't think in the Emmys it got a lot of love.
Did
Us.
you love Omar's sister?
No, but she
Not
played
Omar,
that role.
Yeah.
Omar Navarro.
Yeah.
No, but she was a perfect character.
Hey, she was bad.
Yep.
Boy.
Well, I mean, ordering hit on your brother. You know, on the Emmys, Mandy Moore got disrespected from This Is Us.
Oh, I thought you were talking about her musical talents. I quit on This Is Us.
I know,
This Is
it
Us.
got heavy for you.
Yeah.
It got heavy for a lot of people. I took a couple of years off and then I caught up. But she was playing herself like over like 7 different parts of her life, and she didn't get the love from the Emmys that she should have. One quick question here, because I'm watching the Big 12 media stream as they're going through their media days, and we were talking about Oklahoma. And the Nebraska-Oklahoma game this year isn't getting as much run as it got last year because it was on the anniversary last year. And there's just something. I agree with you about Brent Venables. He's back at Oklahoma. It's very much a player-driven community, it appears. I mean, I think he's developing an identity. They're really recruiting well. You know, they lost some key players, but it's not like they are just void of talent. I mean, Oklahoma is still very talented, but that game, this might not be the day for Tiger. I just want you to be playing on Sunday when I'm drinking coffee.
Just missed a 4-footer coming back, +2 after 1. That is some start, El Tigre.
It's okay.
Oh, come on, Eldrick.
It's okay, Tiger. You have 17 more holes. The Oklahoma-Nebraska game right now is kind of, I mean, Fox is going to bring their big noon kickoff here.
Whoa. Nebraska-Oklahoma game is kind of what?
Yeah. It's not getting a lot of love.
Well, first of all, it's still preseason. Second of all, let's give it a little time. Both teams could be coming in undefeated potentially.
And then Oklahoma could maybe sneak into the top 10 by then.
And it's also part of another good week. There's a lot of good games that weekend.
It's
a little premature stipulation
July
for
14th. That's not like people aren't going, hey, can't wait for that Oklahoma game. I mean, I'm trying to get you to go buy tickets at ticketsforless.com.
I was going to say ticket prices would say otherwise.
But watching Oklahoma today, I wonder what Venables will establish an identity. Like, Lincoln Riley, you knew what the identity was of Oklahoma. What will be the identity for Venables when your first quarterback is Dylan Gabriel? You've got a quarterback-friendly offense it appears that Jeff Lebby will have. Like, what will Oklahoma football and Brent Venables look like?
Yeah, Lebby's going to be interesting to watch. Hey, by the way, remember when I just randomly brought up watch because it was going into break, and I go, keep an eye on Walt Bell at Indiana, primarily because Nebraska plays Indiana. There's a pretty good article on Walt Bell yesterday, having some toys in the backfield. I mean, just random, but
well, remember his name was brought up during the OC search.
Yeah, but I like Walt Bell, so I just thought that was interesting. But go ahead, back to your.
No, I'm just curious
BV
on
discussion.
I'm just curious on Oklahoma, of what the identity will be under Venables and how quickly it'll be established.
Well, you assume at some point they're going to play good defense. He's still got his little stable of good defensive backs that he had coming up. I mean, they made the right hire to kind of salvage what they did. Oklahoma came out, I mean, after getting pillaged by Link, I mean, that's about as well as you can expect.
They
finished recruiting okay.
Well, and remember, they waited a little bit before Venables got hired.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've,
Well,
Josie and the young president who I
and
think
you
is
had
a great
and you
guy.
had
They
Stoops
got
as
him.
kind of your spokesperson in the interim. Not
Mhm.
bad. Tiger's swing looks fantastic for kind of hobbling around, doesn't it? Or is that just me? I have no idea where that ball went. It's right next to you, sir. Right by your right foot.
It's wide open. This links golf.
Oh,
He hit it on
Lord.
the tarmac.
Part like where planes go?
Well, I mean, those, as you see, those fairways are.
Oh,
yeah.
Tongue in cheek.
There's
your boy Jonathan Rahm.
As Terrell Farley would say, they're as wide as they can be, so two fat women can fit through them. The famous quote at Kansas State.
Tomorrow is 43. Are you locking that up?
There's some competition for 43.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to disrespect one of our weekly guests?
Can't wait for 42 and 41 too.
Today is 44. 44 is a really good football number.
Yeah. It's popular when I was a kid.
Do you think one more final thing here on Oklahoma? And again, I like what Venables is doing. He has reached out. He has brought everybody back into the family. And they are recruiting really well. I mean, look at what they've done this past week. I mean, Caden Green, they get a 5-star offensive lineman from Kansas City who, Nebraska was pursuing to come to Norman. So they picked up right in recruiting. Is Oklahoma, did Bob Stoops leave Oklahoma in a spot and now they're going to the SEC, so this number might change, that they are kind of a plug and play 9 or 10 win every year now program? There are not.
This is a new conference though coming up.
So it might 9, 10 might not be the number, but
10. I wouldn't plug and play them for 10. I'd plug and play them for 9.
But there have been so few down years at Oklahoma in the last two decades.
Yeah.
I mean, they're winning 9, 10, 3 of the first 4 years, Lincoln Riley goes to the playoff. Oklahoma football, plug and play. They roll out of bed, and it's a 9, 10 win football program. Have they gotten to that point over 2 decades?
I'd slot them for 9. I hate doing that because it's so hard to win, but that seems like a 9 program.
Last year they won 11.
If I'm going to use a pencil, right?
Yeah. Last year they won 11. They won 7 in the conference. Didn't go to the championship game. Lost Bedlam to Oklahoma State and didn't make it. But they're meeting with the media in Arlington. Texas is there today. I saw. So I'm following along here. Someone has asked Sarkisian, "What is the realistic expectation for your season?"
Realistic. I love when people say that.
I mean, what is the head coach going to say? Well, you know what he should say?
Don't lose to Kansas.
No, you know what Sark should say? Not 5 and 7. See, if you're at Texas and you're in your current state, that is a no-win question. What's the realistic expectation for the season?
No, I get it. I get it. And nobody they've got a different as opposed to what if you're a coach that's going to have a realistic benchmark. Right? So a coach is going to tell you that they don't really want to try to win them all. You think you can win them all? Our goal is to.
It almost seems like a troll question to get like a gotcha.
Well, then you could just give the patented answer. Hey, we're just going to try to play good football and have everybody roll their eyes. And if they do, I'd be like, that's kind of a dumb question. It worked for Bryce Harper.
Yeah, it did.
It's a clown question, bro. That's what he said. And he went bro. He went bro before bro was popular, where that's every other word out of a kid's mouth in 2022. Bro. Pick something different, kiddo.
What's a realistic expectation for this season is a question that was asked.
As opposed to unrealistic.
See, I would just say, well, anything that's not 5 and 7.
Yeah.
Boom.
I don't think that's going to be the thing
either. I know you love the running back, and rightfully so. And they have a couple of other talented running backs in Austin, yeah?
Yeah.
They do have an iffy offensive line.
No, I know. But they don't have to worry about the juggernaut of that conference and for another year and a half. They can bulk up along the offensive line. They do have they have a couple of studs on that D line though. They'll be okay.
Apparently there is a quarterback competition in Austin. Hudson Card and Quinn Ewers. I mean, he hasn't won the job with all the name, image, likeness money he's got. That's not how a quarterback battle works.
Well, if it doesn't work that way with defensive ends in Lincoln, then it shouldn't work that way with quarterbacks in Texas.
All right, ask us anything. How about two guys not mentioned this week? That guy and the wide receiver guy. We got Brian Edwards before the show was over. We'll do Ask Us Anything. Cameron Young shot a 64. He's got a 3-shot lead. He's in the clubhouse. Rory is 5 under through 16. And here's Tiger on the second shot on 2.
Yes. 442 yards.
Ooh.
He will have about...
Oh, no, it came back.
Yeah, I see that.
Under the TV tower. All right, this may...
it's going to be an interesting afternoon for El Tigre.
Yeah, well, the conditions have changed. It's not fair to Tiger.
Hey,
why don't they let the old man play when it's nicer out?
Hey, one of my partners in crime wants you to describe the wind again by the pant flap velocity at the Open.
The wind had picked up, guys. Pants were flapping in the wind. We overthink things in life.
Everybody's got jokes.
We overthink things. I mean, guys that are like me that wear, don't wear so super tight pants, you can tell that the wind is blowing. I mean, I don't claim to be Jim Cantori. I'm more between
Jim Flowers for sure. And
wait a minute, time out.
What?
No, I'm not Jim Flowers. By the way, where's he at?
I don't know. Where's your T-shirt?
After I got scolded in Hy-Vee by an older lady for wearing my Jim Flowers shirt. I don't wear that anymore.
Wow, you were ashamed of putting that away?
Oh, man. This lady came at me like...
Not funny. Did she know who you were?
No. I mean, she did not appear to be somebody that would listen to 1620.
I mean, she's old. You won't have to deal with it for that long.
Well, so I have a T-shirt that has Jim Flowers' face on it. And I'm a big fan of his weather ability. Channel 6 followed him to Channel 3. Didn't follow him into the no. So I was wearing a shirt, and this lady thought I was making fun of him at the grocery store. Yeah, and she came up and she accosted me. I felt violated.
You're a James Flowers enthusiast.
There are a lot of those out there, apparently. All right, 9:26. Ask Us Anything coming up next.
A James Flowers enthusiast. Oh, James Flowers. What up, James? Oh, man. It's like it uses negative space. And it has an image of Jim Flowers, and it was right after he got, busted. Yeah. Oops. It kind of looks like a hand. It kind of looks like Jim Flowers. What's up, C-Hap?
Couple of things before we jump into Ask Us Anything. You asked over there what Jim Flowers was doing these days?
I didn't.
But at some point today, you were going to ask. You probably text me later. Mark writes into the Equitable Bank inbox where they take banking personally. They're 2 fine locations. Jim is on Facebook under Jim Flowers Meteorologist. He's retired, but he has a thing called Storm Central where he jumps online and covers thunderstorms and snowstorms periodically. I will have to look for that, me being a weather weenie. Thank you, Mark, for the update on Jim Flowers. Quite the variety. Quite the variety of meteorologists we have in Omaha these days.
What is today? Thursday?
Yes. I know you're looking at him, not me.
It feels like a Friday.
Hockey Dad 2, A, and Z.
Yes.
He has actually played the old course at St. Andrews where they're playing the Open right now. He said, cool place. I think I would say more than that.
He apparently has a lot of money. He must have sold the paper biz because he pays $100,000 a year for hockey. He travels all over the place.
Well,
There's not many things he hasn't done.
Got kids playing hockey in the East Coast, so he's got to travel. He said he shot a 36.45 for an 81. He was even through 12. Talk about a choke job. I think that's a hell of a flex you just put into my timeline.
Humble brag.
Yes. All right, time for
Jay Rich.
This could be just awesome today.
Probably not.
All right, chance to win a gift card to our good friends at Oscars. That'd be a fun place to go for lunch today.
Is it bad I can't see the balls in flight? This is a real struggle for your boy.
I think the television coverage on USA Network is also struggling. So I don't think it's you.
Okay.
It's not you, it's me.
It's not me, it's them.
How many times you hear that line in your life?
Let's not talk about old stuff.
Well, you got to learn from the past, and it forms your future. Isn't that what Shakespeare said, or somebody like that?
Yeah.
I don't think that was Shakespeare.
Somebody close, a philosopher, an author, somebody famous. All right, ask us anything. This is Anything Goes. Chance will select the best submission, and you will win a gift card to Oscar's Pizza and Grill. You can use it either at 137 or 173rd and Center, where that is the whole experience, the dine-in. You can watch ball games today. You can watch the Open, hang out with Bill, who was working the bar the other night. I don't know if he's there during the day, but he's there at night. You got the home of the Big O Pizza, Charbuff Wings, and takeout only at 162nd and Maple, which is now convenient to get in and out of. All right, Chance, here's your big opportunity.
So the first one is rather tame. Matt wants to know, in those very first seconds, are you hoping it's Ice Ice Baby or Under Pressure?
Ice Ice Baby.
I'm a Robert Van Winkle fan. Ice Ice Baby.
All right.
Doom, 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 doom,
You ready?
Okay, now here's...
You just want to do a tandem on that song?
I don't want to do a tandem at all.
I know you don't want to do a
duet?
tandem bike. That was
Duet?
once a thing. People wanted to do a
Yeah,
tandem
you
bike.
wanted to put me in the sidecar, though. That wasn't happening. How would I look like? Hey, where are we going? Oh,
That's the
man.
first question. All right. We're good. We're good.
All right, we have one. Okay, let's go to the out-of-pocket one. Darren wants to know, your toilet is now sentient. Would you rather it passionately, exuberantly crave what you put in it, or deeply resent and hate you for what you put into its mouth? Why?
One more time, Chance.
What?
Your toilet is now sentient. It is living. It is breathing.
Okay.
Would you rather it passionately, exuberantly crave what you put into, what you would usually put into a toilet, or deeply resent you and despise you for what you put into it? Which one would you pick and why?
What is going on?
I'll use the sink.
Only way to win is to not play.
It's not even the question, number one. And two, you always do that.
Answer first. I'll wait. I can always go second.
Probably what I put into it.
I usually don't go first. I wait. I go second. I'm not having. If my toilet is talking, I got some issues. I mean, if my toilet is now talking to me, either it's been a rough night, that brownie in my fridge is pretty good, or there's something else going on.
What I put into it. I'm gonna keep it simple. Wow. I used to sink. Nope.
Okay.
It's tough out here, Chance.
Okay, so this is what this segment is supposed to be about, but that one like caught me off guard a little bit.
Well, the vernacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing Chance is smart, because can you imagine our old guy trying to do that? He'd have passed.
Yeah.
Pull out the thesaurus.
Hey, I don't. How do you sound this out?
Hey, is
My
it
dude.
sentient? Sentient?
At least he explained what it meant too, because I sure was going to ask.
Oh.
Hey, what's that mean?
Do people have a passion for their toilet?
Mine needs a new lid.
I think
Like,
people,
if you sit, you have to sit perfectly square, or it's going to move on you.
there's a familiarity
Another reason to
with your
pass.
toilet. What?
Okay, that you kind of just like slid that in there.
Well, you know that a lot of people prefer to do their business at home the most.
Oh, because that's
Yeah, you like the home field advantage.
Yeah.
level of comfort.
Like your cheeks know what's up. Anyway, Drew wants to know.
I just want you to know that was not me. That was him.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Hello, cheek. All right, number 3.
Okay, here's another one that I'm sure will be really fun to answer.
Why are all these toilet questions and crap questions?
Well, they're crap, all right.
If you were to receive a nude massage from a same-sex celebrity, who would you pick?
Who sent this?
His name is Drew.
Threw a little wrinkle into the question. I had my answer already, but
Same sex? What the? I don't even know what to say.
Don't have any celebrity man crushes? No,
Well, I
Darren?
wouldn't look at it like that. I would look at it as like somebody that would be the antithesis. Get it over with.
yeah,
I don't know. Morgan Freeman, so we could talk about. No, yeah, Morgan Freeman.
You like him to narrate the whole thing?
Yeah, something like that. Alex Haley or somebody. Somebody I can have a conversation with, but significantly older.
I would probably go with Hugh Jackman.
There you go.
That's weird.
Well, you know
Why?
Because
You got to think for Anna Manu.
Clooney wasn't available.
No, yeah, he was pretty strong. He'll make sure you get all those worked out.
Okay, that's why I went with the old guy. What's the next question?
How about we end
Hugh
on
Jackman?
one that's Hugh jacked man? What? He's really muscular.
Hey,
I'm leaving.
yeah.
All right. Let's end with something a little less interesting.
Yeah, you think?
We talked about animals earlier. Steve Irwin has you pinned down in a headlock.
He's no longer with us. Is this his son?
Yeah, this could be Robert Irwin.
Big Animal Planet guy Chance is, so he knew it right away.
Yeah. The other one's Bindi. Anyway.
It's his daughter.
Mm-hmm. What cool facts does he tell the audience about you and your habitat?
Well, unlike most animals, I use the restroom and eat the furthest away from one another. I typically like my food cooked.
I think they're very. I'm very similar with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to think for yourself.
I mean, it's groupthink, isn't it?
Would you eat in the bathroom? I mean, you do brush your teeth in there.
Yeah. But I do have some separation from where I brush my teeth and where I.
Yeah. Chance, have you eaten in the bathroom?
It's got to have happened at least once.
Yeah, even like in the shower, you never had a sandwich or something?
No.
We've all drank a beer, right?
Your bread would get soggy.
I mean,
That's the first thing you thought of, was to have a sandwich in the shower.
I'm not having a sandwich. I've drank beer in the shower many times.
I think there's quite a few people that's probably had a drink in the shower.
You would need that like really tough French bread to have it survive the shower. Because like, your rye or your pumpernickel is just gonna disintegrate.
I don't even know what we're doing.
And
hey,
you learned
Fickle People,
You
Brian.
learned that on Animal Planet as well?
Why did I think of this?
That's probably more in the Mythbusters Discovery Channel.
Will a sandwich stay together in the shower
Yeah.
while you eat it?
Can you shower a sandwich?
Hey, for the massage
Myth-busted.
question,
Yeah.
Fickle People, Brian said Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Hey.
I should see, where was he sooner? Hey, he's on a roll today.
Mhm.
Hey,
I think he just won the Listener of the Day award.
Look what my mom just sent me.
Whoa. We better stop this segment. Do you think you're gonna have to go home now?
I'm just gonna play the outro. Sound good?
Yeah, that'd be
I
great.
think she's ever sent you that emoji.
Yeah.
It's Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center, and carry out at 162nd and Maple.
Here's the thing. We don't come up with a question, so we're on the receiving end. So normally we would not be discussing this.
Who's the winner?
That'll be it.
That's up to chance. I
There
know.
was- See that? Okay, again, this is how this segment is supposed to work.
Would
Supposed
you
to
get-
make you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I squirm.
Yeah.
So would you spend all $40 on wings, or would you get some pizza?
Oh, you'd have to mix it up.
Yeah, I think could I eat $40 worth of wings?
That would give you. That'd be a lot of wings by
30
yourself.
36,
I think you could.
I probably could.
You could. You could.
Yeah, probably not all at one sitting, but two.
Take some home?
The night plus the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good place. You never know who you'll see there.
At Oscars.
No, a lot of like famous people I've always gone in there.
Yeah,
and
I
seen.
almost never go south anymore because the takeout's right by my house.
That's okay. You're going to be one of us. You're going to be
Even
a
though he has
South of Dodge person before long.
Hey, Connor's making fun of my Morgan Freeman thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure your fascination with Morgan Freeman.
I don't
massaging
who's
the-
Connor with a
I'm not
massage
trying to
from?
be turned on. I just want to tell we can talk.
Well, is Connor just gonna pick the name of KC Royal?
Yeah.
Bobby Wood Jr.
So, what would your reaction be if you like walked into the massage room and Morgan Freeman was there, compared to Hugh Jackman?
Like,
You get a lot of. I don't know the business that well because I've only had one in my life, and that was a couple's massage on your honeymoon because you're supposed to, in Jamaica by two a husband and wife who swapped with us.
Did you see Amazing Daniel's tweet?
Yeah.
I can't even mess with it.
Is Freeman talking like
So do you have a
old
lot-
Red?
Do you
from-
have older masseurs? Every time I look at the internet, it's always young people. They're always well built. Like I couldn't be a masseur apparently.
Yeah, I hope Morgan doesn't have like arthritis in his hands.
Rubbing up those thighs. Crab! Crab!
What Doc say? I don't even recognize what we're doing.
Okay, so this segment is effective. It's completely throwing us off.
Yeah. The masseuse question may win if it was my vote. It's kind of weird. Up to you, Chance. Knock yourself out.
All right, Brian Edwards is coming up next. He will join us. We have 4 more teams to talk about. College football, their win total. Big 12 Media Days are going on. Iowa State speaks today, so Matt Campbell will be front and center.
I got into an interesting discussion with Balk Dog yesterday over whether I would take Matt Campbell or Dave Doreen.
Okay, so that is his dream guy from North Carolina State. He is pledging his love to him.
I took Campbell. Didn't take me long.
Tiger is 2 over through 2. He is putting for par on 3 and missed.
Wow, his score is ballooning. At minus 155 to make the cut, much like Chance's love, it is in jeopardy.
Time to chat college football win totals. Our Vegas insider Brian Edwards join us, senior handicapper for VegasInsider.com. You can find him on Twitter at VegasBEdwards. Good morning, my fine sir. How are we?
Good morning, gentlemen. Doing great.
Hey, we'll dive right into this because it's that time of the year. We're 44 days around here from the start of college football season. Let's roll through some win totals and get your thoughts. Let me start in the SEC with Ole Miss. So they have had to turn over the roster a little bit, but they went in. Kiffin went into the portal hard. I look at their schedule. Now, their win total is 7.5. I look at their schedule, B. They could start 7-0. But, man, their last 5 games are going to be brutal. 7.5, you like over or under?
I like over. Now, shop around. DraftKings has got the over at minus 135, whereas others like FanDuel have it at minus 165. I initially marked them 8-1 with 3 swing games. I think the Alabama game sets up really good for them. They get 2 weeks to prepare. Alabama is off the rivalry game with LSU and has to travel twice in 2 weeks. I'm not saying they definitely win that game, but it is winnable. The only for sure loss I have is at Arkansas. I've got LSU and at A&M marked as swing games. I do think they start 1, 2, 3, 4. I do think they start 7-0. Really, the toughest games being Kentucky and Auburn, and both being at home. They're number 2 in terms of who they got out of the transfer portal. 13 Power 5 guys out of 17. I think Jackson Dart will be good. Their running backs are solid guys out of the portal. I think they'll be better on defense, although they are breaking in a new defensive coordinator. I think it'll be a big year for Ole Miss, and I think they'll finish second in the West.
I actually thought Jeff Collins was a good hire, but he
too.
struggled, man. He's 9-25, and listen, he had to turn a roster over, different style, the whole 9. Georgia Tech's win total is 3.5. Seems low for the caliber of coach, but he's only averaging 3 a year.
Yep, like you, Damon, I thought it was a good hire. Collins was very good as a DC at Florida for 2 years, but it just hadn't worked out. Now, going from Paul Johnson's offense is a Herculean task, but they've gotten consistently worse on defense, and that's his side of the ball. And Phil Steele's national unit rankings, they only have them ranked, and it's pretty much the top 60. They only have them ranked in one position, the quarterback position, and that's number 59. Their non-conference is Ole Miss at home, at UCF, at Georgia, a layup against Western Carolina. I think they beat Western Carolina and Duke at home, but I think they go 2-10. Their most winnable games outside of those two are Virginia at home and at Virginia Tech. Even if they get one, we'll be okay. I like under 3.5.
Jeez, that is for Georgia Tech to fall like that. Let's go to a future SEC team. They're actually on TV now talking at Big 12 Media Days, and we were just talking about them earlier, B, because Nebraska and Oklahoma play the back end of that first stage of the home and home. Oklahoma is 9.5. Brent Venables, brand new coach. I asked Damon, do you think it's a plug-and-play program where OU is going to win 9 to 10 games every year? Now, they only return 10 starters, but they do have Dylan Gabriel in a brand-new quarterback-friendly offense. They get Oklahoma State and Baylor at home, and they're not losing in Norman over the last 7 years. The total is 9.5. How do you see Oklahoma? What do you go, over or under?
Well, it's a pass for me, but if I got to say, I do have them going 10-2. I initially marked them 7-0 with 5 swing games, and that game at Nebraska being a certain coin flip, a tough one. But look, they hit the portal hard as well. They got the number 4 ranked, just transfer specific guys by 24/7 Sports. They got 13 of them, 8 from Power 5 schools. I think Gabriel will be outstanding. They got some really good receivers out of the portal. Their losses, they could lose at Nebraska. They could lose to Texas. They could lose at Iowa State. I think they'll get revenge in the rivalry game with Oak State Bedlam. And they are fortunate to get Baylor at home. So I'll say 10-2, but it's a shaky 10-2. Not much confidence in it.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's like around the 7.5 win total and the Big Ten, not named the Big 3. Michigan State, man, coming off an 11-2 season, a lot of momentum for Mel Tucker. What do you think?
I've got them finishing 8-4. I initially marked them 6-2 with 4 swing games. The 4 swing games being at Washington and at Maryland, which I've changed to victories. Wisconsin at home, which I've changed to a loss, and at Penn State, which I've changed to a loss, and that makes them 8-4. The games I marked initially as losses were Ohio State at home and at Michigan. I think they go 8-4. They're not going to be as good on the O-line. I like their quarterback. They have good running backs, but they're not. They got Broussard, the transfer from Colorado, but they don't have a Kenneth Walker. Although Broussard is really good. They've got Jaden Reed, outstanding receiver. They should be outstanding on defense. 9 starters back. I think it'll be a solid year, but you got to win those road games at Washington, at Maryland.
That's a key game.
Yeah.
Washington is key.
Say it again.
Washington is a key game.
Yeah, very, very much so. Early in the year, and that's a long flight out there. And we kind of really don't know what we're going to get out of Washington this year. I think they'll win that, but anytime you go out west, you never know. You lose that one, and you got a lot of tough games ahead of you with already one loss.
Yeah, I had to do a double take here because Baylor is favored to win the Big 12 for the first time in 8 years. Oklahoma has been the last 7. They've got to replace some key pieces, but Aranda has recruited well, and he's really good. They went from 2-7 in the COVID year to 11 wins last year and winning the Big 12 championship game. I love his offensive line. I like his defensive line. If he gets good quarterback play, they have a chance to do a lot of damage in the Big 12. But is the win total for Baylor 7.5?
I think it's 8.5 now.
Yeah, so FanDuel didn't have their win total. Went to DraftKings. They have it at 7.5, shaded to the over -150. I hate the -150 price, but I do think it goes over. I've got them going 10-2, not winning the Big 12 because they lose at Oklahoma. Oklahoma will have the head-to-head, but I think Baylor's going to be great. Like you said, they're in the trenches. Steel Steel's national unit rankings ranks their O-line 7th, ranks their D-line 4th, ranks their special teams 20th. You're good in the trenches. You're good on special teams. If you get pretty good quarterback play, you should be really good. I do think they go 10-2, but I just the at Oklahoma game will obviously be key, but I got to give the edge to the Sooners at home.
Listen, we got Bijan Robinson and Xavier Worthy, and some of these guys should help them on offense. They're going to have to get more stops. Texas is in a tricky spot. Sark took some weird questions yesterday. What do you think of the Longhorns?
Oh man, so many question marks there. I mean, their offense should be dynamite if the quarterback play is good, which we haven't really seen Ewers, but he's a highly touted. Excuse me. I initially marked them 6-2 with 4 swing games, so it's going to be a pass on the 8.5 season win total. I think they probably go 8-4, so slight lean to the under.
Somebody else aside from Christian Jones on the offensive line's got to emerge.
Right. And I just worry about the defense. They were not good defensively last year. We'll see on that side of the ball.
Well, we'll definitely find out a lot about Texas game. Week number 2 and Alabama rolls into Austin to play at 11 a.m.
Sure. I don't think that's going to go well for them.
No, I mean, just look at the line. When did you think that Alabama, Texas would have that kind of a line?
Right. Well, I haven't looked at games here lately, but it was 14-15 at last look a week or two back.
Yeah, that'll go over well in Austin, being playing at home, being that much of an underdog. B, as always, we appreciate it. We're closer to the college football season, of course, the NFL. It's fun diving through win totals. We'll do it again next Thursday.
Sounds great, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thanks, B.
Brian Edwards, the Vegas Insider. Tomorrow anything that exciting comes out of the Big 12 Media Days as Texas and Oklahoma are talking today. Iowa State as well. Iowa State's kind of, I think they're preseason 6th.
Is that high? No.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a couple of things that were said by Mickey that we did not get to today that we will chew on tomorrow. But if you missed our discussion about his comments on his wide receivers, you don't want to miss that. That was some pretty good insight there. That's up on the radio replay page with all the exciting segments today. Enjoy the Open, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and come back and finish the week with us tomorrow at 6 for another edition of Sharp Betting in the Morning. For Damon, for Chance, I'm Gary on 1620 The Zone.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale is on now. Save big time store-wide. Shorts and sports shirts, golf wear, casual slacks and accessories, and suits and sport coats. The Lindley Clothing Summer Sale. Lindley Clothing at Linden Market, 132nd just north of Dodge.
Listen for the screwball of the day this week on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Could be someone screwy or nutty, but worthy of the screwball of the day title. Brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, the original peanut butter whiskey, now available near you.
Don't miss Faith and Family Night at Warner Park on Saturday, July 23rd. The Omaha Storm Chasers are presenting a post-game concert